Where y'all at?
Hey, no worries, man. We coming, bro. We here. We are here. We should be live now. And once I make sure the audio is good, because for some reason that the YouTube is being more delayed than it used to be. Like sometimes when I used to click the button, it'll go live like 5 or 10 seconds after. Now it's like almost 30.
Hmm.
So now it's up now on my end is up now, and it took about what like 10 or 15 seconds. It's really weird how they do that, but no, we're good.
Okay.
This
Cool.
is episode 203 of the First and Framerates podcast. Myself, VF Baller. I got DJ 81 with me. Bill's fourth should be here a little bit later. He didn't say he was gonna be behind or whatever, but you know when he gets here, he can come in and continue to what he do as far as contributing to the podcast. If you look at the banner on the bottom, if you're watching us on YouTube, it says that this the live version of the podcast will be moving over to Twitch January 26th, but it will be uploaded to this channel a day after the live episode. So if you guys want to catch us live, go over there now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Twitch channel. It is all you gotta do. Go to Twitch, type in VF Baller. I should pop right on up, and just hit the follow button, and you'll get the notification when we go live. But other than that, if you want to listen to us a day after, if you want to listen to us on, on your daily, business, whatever, you can continue to watch us on this channel here on YouTube. Also, if you don't want to watch on YouTube and just want to listen, we also have Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify. So we have a lot of avenues where you can listen to us. One of the things I like to do, I have this app called Podcast Addict, and I mean it's not an ad for them or anything, but it's really convenient. This app, you can put all of your favorite podcasts into one app, and then you can just type in First and Frame Rates, and it'll pop up once again because it used the iTunes search engine, and you can put it into that one app, so you don't have like all these different podcast windows or thumbnails on your phone. It'll be all in one app. So I think that'd be a good idea for anybody who'd like to listen to podcasts. But nevertheless, today we're going to be talking about what makes a gaming community. I think and also we're going to talk about a gaming community is what you make it. So it's kind of like a two-part thing. And nobody really talks about this. Everybody just get together and talk about a game, and they just form the community based on their, opinions, and in some cases not necessarily their ideas. But we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I have DJ 81 here. He's going to give us his intro. How have you been the last couple of days, bro?
Oh, I've been okay. I know, and I got a question for everybody who's probably tuning in. Who saw me shoot VF last night? Just blow, and that was it.
It's not the first time. It won't be the last. I'm not.
No, actually, that was the first time I've killed you in a multiplayer match.
It won't. Trust me. If we're against each other, it won't be the last. I didn't even know he was on the other team yet, but
I knew.
nevertheless.
It's funny because when I came into the game, I was looking for you guys. I was looking for if we were on the same team, and I was like, oh, they're on the opposing team. But
Yeah, you found out really quick when you shot me.
well, no, I found out before I shot you because my
Right.
teammate killed you first, and then you got revived, and then I killed you next. So
Yeah,
it was,
because
and the guy was on my squad. That the guy, remember that tank showed up. He was like, "Oh, I didn't see that tank."
because I remember we was in Operation Locker, and all I know, I came around the corner,
Oh,
and
it
then he
wasn't
blasted me.
locker. It wasn't locker. It was siege of
Shanghai. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why I thought it was in Locker when it happened. I
yeah.
mean, you had the clip, so you can show it.
Well, you also had the clip too because it's on your Twitch. I'm
Who
like, because
clipped it?
nobody. No, actually, it wasn't clipped, but you go to a particular part. I think it's like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it was right.
I just have the stills from both our perspectives because the look on your face before you realize. I don't know at that moment you realized it was me, but you said something, and then Pooh had said something, called me a traitor and stuff like that. I was like, I was.
I think I was more so. I think I was more surprised that you were actually in the game because we know you were still doing your Twitch stream. I didn't know, so I was more surprised at that than actually getting killed. Because I was like, oh, there's DJ right there because I didn't know you was in the game.
And then funny because I actually like as I was ending my stream, I actually made a proclamation that I was going to come in And if I wasn't going to be on the squad, then I was going to ruin y'all night. As far as that moment, I was going to introduce myself in the most chilling way, and it just happened to be you that was in my sights. Because it was funny because when I saw you, you wouldn't have been able to see me. Like if you were looking down range, you wouldn't have been able to see me because I was hiding behind that pillar. I just leaned around the corner and shot you.
Oh, so you snuck me.
Yeah, that's the way. That's what I do. I'm like, even when you saw the post, like as you saw my highlighted body after you died, you saw I was creeping still,
right?
Because I knew, because everybody was and then after a while, after I like shot, because I had shot another teammate of yours, and actually hit you a couple times before my squad mate finished you off with his vehicle. So your teammates were looking for me. They ran when they saw the vehicle, and then they were throwing grenade launchers around me. I saw the grenade launchers fly overhead of me. I was just like, man, they are. And then I ran across. They were still shooting at me. I got down low, and then they shot out my cover, and I got away again. I was just like, yeah, they were looking for me.
I know today asking what we were playing. We were playing Battlefield 4. It turned out to be a really good stream. You can go back and watch the VOD on Twitch. End up streaming it for 4 hours. Had a good bit of people come through the stream, and that's another reason why I want to go over to Twitch, because normally when I stream over here, not the podcast, but when I stream like games over here, it doesn't reach anybody. Like I said, sometimes you have an issue with, people getting a notification. People don't know that you're live until like almost an hour later. There are times where people don't know that you're live at all. So it's really weird. And people who are not watching your streams or not really subscribed to you can't really find you, because it just YouTube, the way they do it with their algorithm and actually trying to find people who are actually live is not ideal. I'll just say it like that, because at least with Twitch, when you're live, it gives anyone the chance to find you based on the game, not necessarily based on the algorithm. And it really helps, because I've been getting people that I never heard of. People don't even know that I do football or sports gaming. You have a variety of people who want to watch you, and they come to watch you for you. And that's another reason why I really like the Twitch. I like being on Twitch over than being over here. And like I said, it has nothing to do with you guys who come watch. It has nothing to do with the people who are subscribed. It's just the way that it's set up. Like, I know everybody who's in the chat, or people that are not even watching here, they have a situation where there are other channels that they watch and have no idea that they uploaded a video, have no idea that they're live, have no idea that they put anything in their community tab. They just don't know, because sometimes YouTube just do not put out the notifications for everybody. I think it's starting to get too big for itself, because at least with Twitch, it's more of a gaming platform. And I mean, it's a gaming platform first, and it kind of caters to that. And I like being over there more. So, nevertheless, like I said, Twitch, VF Baller, the link is down in the description, all the other stuff. Go follow me if you haven't already. Bills is here. Bills, how you been doing these past couple of days, bro?
I had a rude awakening with 2K today. I have a bit of a rant.
Oh boy.
And other than that, I've been cool. I've been chilling. So yeah,
that's
ready for these
what's up.
topics.
That's what's up. We don't have any topics. We got one. And the topic that we're going to be talking about today is basically the gaming community in general. Like we're talking about the title of the episode is "A Gaming Community is What You Make It." And by what I mean by that is a lot of these places that we know of that we call gaming communities are not gaming communities. They're just a group of people that get together, and for some cases they just talk about their gripes, they talk about the positives, but they're not really trying to build something that can be actually a sector or a cornerstone to where be like, hey, these guys over here are actually, they have something here. For instance, you see what's going on in the sim gaming community, as far as sim football community. It's kind of like spread it out now. Nobody really is like in a cluster like they used to be. But when you look at that, and then you turn around and see what the guys at SFL did, when it comes to them doing the simulation football league with APF. Whatever our gripes is with APF is irrelevant, because I feel like what they did, they made a cornerstone of a community to where everybody there is really feel like they're a part of something instead of just a bunch of critics talking about something. Now over here, we're trying to do the same thing with First and Framerates, and I think we've done a fantastic job because we got people here that put stuff in the comments and they actually contribute in a way to actually build what we have instead of just pointing the finger at every single thing that we talk about. We actually try to make things better, or we just try to make it work for the betterment of us enjoying the hobby that we have. And I think that when you think about a gaming community, I think that's what it's about. I think a community is basically like any other community that you live in. You live there, you help it grow, you help it get better, you try to add people that are actually able to contribute. And I think that at the end of the day, I think we need more of that. Any one of y'all can go first, and anybody in the comments that want to talk about that as well. Do you think I'm talking crazy? Am I talking something that's not realistic, or whatever the case may be? Any one of y'all can go first and let me know what you guys think.
Okay. Gaming communities forming the way that they do, a lot of it has to start with a focus. Like, what are you trying to do?
That's a good point right there. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't mean to cut you off. You really don't have to say nothing else after that, because I didn't even think of that. But go ahead.
That's the thing. If you set out as either a content creator, because it usually starts with one person. Let's look at Apex. What was he trying to do when he started? His whole thing was just simple. I see people, this was like early YouTube, whatever. He sees people talking about issues with the football game. He's like, okay, let me do that. From there, more people, he started to upload videos talking about the issues in Madden. And from there, other people saw him do that, and they started doing the same thing. This organically formed the sim football community. Everybody that you hear of now or have heard of that are still making videos and whatnot have formed from this singular motive from the very beginning. The reason why the sim community is the way it is now is because most people have taken their eyes off the prize. A lot of people, instead of just keeping it simple and letting the community grow just from that base, now everybody has their own motives and have formed micro communities based on that factor. Like, some people, they just want, like you mentioned earlier, people just want to complain just to complain. Well, there's a person there within the community there for you. You could be a part of that little micro community. And it's kind of gone against what the community started as. Because it's just like, look, I want to talk about the issues to improve the game. I don't want to just complain just to let off steam. That's not why this began in the first place. So a community continues to grow as long as they continue to remember why they are there in the first place. I think that each individual within that community can contribute in their own way. And, you know, I look at our community here at First and Framerates where, you know, I would say between the three of us, we all have, we understand what our focus is, and that is to provide an outlet for people to have people congregate, express themselves, be free to express themselves. I think from that singular focus, that's why our community is able to grow the way it is, whether it's on Discord, whether it's here on YouTube, and then even individually with your channel over on Twitch, being able to come over, you're providing an outlet for them to be able to enjoy themselves. And I think towards the end you said we think we need more of that enjoyment of our hobby. And because we continue to focus on that is why we continue to be successful and continue to grow as a community. So I think at the end of the day, you have to have a simple focus and stay on track, stick with the plan on that singular focus and let everything organically form thereafter so that the community can, positively grow.
What are your thoughts, Bills?
I mean, I don't have too much to add. I think having a focus is really the main thing. I mean, DJ hit the nail right on the head. I kind of disagree about why the sim community disbanded or died, so to speak. I think it was less about not having a focus and more about the fact that as a result of Madden 12, people's perception all changed and went separate ways about the game at that point. When you have a game that's as bad as Madden 11, everybody was pretty much undisputed in the fact that that game was terrible, right? But then Madden 12 comes out and you had half the people saying, this is good enough for us to give them some credit, and everybody else was like, no, it's not. We have to wait until they give us a complete package. So then the community deteriorated even more when they started to basically cause this infighting by having the people that came down to EA as game changers become known as the traitors, right? Because that's also what happened. If you think about it, everybody started out with their primary focus being the game getting better. At the same time, underneath that layer was people didn't really understand how to go about it, as opposed to other people who did understand how to go about it. And the people who didn't understand how to go about it, they didn't agree with the folks who went down to EA. And that caused a rift. So then from that period forward, you had a lot of people with different ideas of how to get a better game, and the focus kind of stayed the same. It was all about getting a better game until then one person who claimed to be a leader of the community broke off and started doing his own thing. Because for the longest time, everybody was making negative, so to speak, videos, right? Negative critiques, hardcore constructive criticism that bordered on bashing, right? Madden 12, it became somewhat positive. Madden 13, it became somewhat more positive. But by Madden 25, the community was completely split as far as what type of content they were putting out. Was it going to be productive, constructive criticism, or repetitive bashing of a game? And that's the thing. So, yeah, the focus stayed the same, right? I mean, at least as far as what they'll claim that they're all in it. We're all in it to make the game better, right? But I think in a community, the key is that we have to all agree that regardless of how we go about that goal, we can agree to disagree as far as our methods, but keep the goal the same. Because that was where we broke off was, well, yeah, we all have the same goal, but why is he doing it that way? And that became the issue was, my way's better than yours. Why aren't you making videos? I'm making videos. I'm doing my part. And we're over here like, well, look, our part is giving constructive criticism, telling them what is good, but also saying, look, the folks who want to enjoy the game, they can enjoy the game. That's part of the community, right? There has to be some positive back and forth about the game other than just, hey, I think this sucks. I think it does too, right? We're trying to grow. That was our version of growing the community. And a lot of people felt that that was a negative. I don't have to name who they are because there's too many to name. There are a lot of people that thought we shouldn't have talked positive about Madden to the point where we said, look, if you enjoy the game, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. For the longest time, everybody said, hey, we have to be on one accord. We all agree. This is how we're doing it. We're making videos. So as a community, yeah, you have to have one common focus, but more so, you have to remember there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. keep your eye on the focus. Agree to disagree on people's methods. If you feel like they're kind of progressive, tell why you think they're kind of progressive. But don't just say that your way is better than the next person's way, because overall, everybody's strengths are completely different. Yeah, we can all make break down videos until we're blue in the face. But I mean, if we want to evolve, we have to find new ways to address our main focus, and that's my thing.
You want to know? You want to know? Let me step in real quick. You know what the problem with the community that you're talking about? That and I really didn't want to talk about that community in general, but you know what the problem with that particular community that we always, all three of us have been guilty of, and we got away from it. But the problem with that community was it was not a gaming community. There's nothing gaming about what that community was doing, and to be honest with you. People who are still there, and there's no shade to them, but I gotta call it what it is. Most of the people who are in that community, they rarely talk about gaming, or they rarely game in general. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, it's one of the reasons why I got away from it, because it was more critiquing and not enough picking up the sticks. You see what I mean? It was nobody was really doing that. They would do it when the game first comes out, because everybody's interested, and it's the hot thing, or these particular people got it before everybody else, or everybody want to see what it is. But can you legitimately get on the sticks, play this game, and make the game entertaining based on what it is advertised as? Can you make this football game look and play like a football game? Can you make this basketball or baseball? Can you make Battlefield like a Warzone game? And I'm not saying Warzone like Modern Warfare, but like a war game. Can you do that? Some of these people in the community, they just can't.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? Okay, so let's go back to that example. Let's stay on that example. So let's say we're all in the sim community, right? We'll say that everything. Like the way it was in 2013 is the way it is now. Let's pretend. Okay, so Madden 21 comes out. Community split on it. DJ
Holy
says,
shit.
"Look, what?
No, I'm playing NCAA 14, and a team that jumped from 14th rank and they jumped all the way to number 5, and I'm trying to figure out why."
Okay. So DJ says, "Look, I'm not playing Madden 21. They don't have the franchise improvements that I want." You say, I'm gonna play it, but I'm not gonna give them full credit for this game. It's a game that's playable, it's a game I can enjoy, but it's not a game that I'm going to, put out there as a game that everybody should automatically buy. I say the same thing, right? So here's the issue. Our focus is all the same, getting a better game, right? The issue is when you have other people who are saying, well, look, I think the best way to improve Madden 21 is to make breakdown videos. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not going against nothing that you're saying. But the problem is, that's what I was saying. They're not gaming when they do that, in my opinion. But I'm getting to the point, though. Yeah, I'm getting to that. So, they say, look, we should make breakdown videos, right? DJ says, look, I'm not playing that game anymore. The way I'm going to improve this game is listing all the ways they can fix franchise mode. Your way to improve the game is reaching out to the devs and say, hey, watch my stream, and I'm going to stream this unfiltered. You'll see the settings, right? Watch my stream, and when I see something that's fucked up, you watch my stream and you see me break that down, but I'm not going to do this whole video thing, right? Me, I'm like, look, this is how I'll improve Madden 21. I'll make sliders and say this is how the game should be playing on default, right? We can't agree that all of us can go about it a different way. We can't agree with that. And that's the issue. If we all can agree that there are different ways to improve the game, we'll never be a community. Because a community was never based on a foundation of we all do things the same way. It is what DJ said. We all have a common focus. So what you're saying is absolutely right. No, they're not a gaming community, right? But let's be honest. that community was never a gaming community. He started
I agree.
Yeah, he started that community to improve the game, but that wasn't gaming. That was critiquing.
Now, what I want to say is, that's what I said. I never wanted. I mean, we obviously talk about sports and sports gaming, but the reason why I titled this the way it is because I want us to continue to expand what we're doing. Because what we do, I feel what we have here is something organic. It's real. It's honest, and it has the potential to be one of the most unique things that is out here in gaming, not just sports gaming, but in gaming in general. We have a group of people, a collective group of people who don't mind speaking their mind and being honest about what they see and trying to make the best of the hobby. I don't find people making the best of the hobby. I'm not just talking about the sports gaming community. I'm just talking about like other quote unquote communities in general. I don't see where it's fun or it's enjoyable to come through and talk about a game and just be a negative Nancy the entire time. I mean, you see it in FIFA, you see it in PES, you see it in 2K, you see it in the Call of Duty community, you see it in Battlefield. And this is one of the reasons why I like Twitch. Because when you go over to Twitch, I don't know what it is about that platform, but it's a lot of positivity over there. And I don't know why, but every stream I go to, when I see other people there, and when I go to other people's Twitch streams, whatever case may be, they're building their small little communities that is like very, very positive. We're one of the few that actually was able to do it over here on YouTube. But over there, over there, it's like the norm. And when I grew up gaming, that's what I always wanted. Whether it be my friends come over and watch me play we play together at the house, or I go to their house and bring my games over there, or they bring their games over to my house. I've always wanted that. And I think with the internet, I think it's a really good chance that we can have this on a larger scale. But there's very few people that actually taking advantage of that.
But this is why
I find it sad though.
This is why Twitch seems so positive. Twitch is a spot where everybody can flourish, right?
Pretty much.
Because there are so many different communities, and on Twitch, when you link up with other people who are on Twitch and y'all are doing the same type of content, there seems to be far more support because there's just a wider fan base in general.
Well, I will say that because you have people on Twitch that will send their viewers over to you to watch your shit. You would never see that. You would never see that on YouTube
because people aren't pigeonholed into their own separate communities and cliques on Twitch, right? I mean, obviously it happens everywhere, but it's not nearly as widespread on Twitch as it is on YouTube. I mean, we don't even have to talk about our community. We could just talk about Madden's community in general. There are cliques. There are people who are in the Madden Ultimate Team clique. Then there's another, clique that's on the Madden, online franchise clique. Then there's, then there's our community, right?
You also have like the championship series where there's the competitive guys.
Yeah, Madden Club. Yeah. So on Twitch, it's like, look, even if somebody's doing the same content as you, everybody can grow together. There doesn't seem to be this crabs in a barrel mentality that there is on YouTube, and definitely in this community.
And that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. I want us to build off of that. That's why I shout out Complimentary Sports for State of the Franchise Sports. I shout him out because I want to see them guys get people to go over there and watch them too. Obi-Wan Watson, he's on Twitch. I go over there and watch him every now and then. It's hard to catch him when he's streaming though, but I always try to catch him every time when he does. And it's those type of things because everybody's not going to be like this top tier streamer or this top tier YouTuber. I mean, that's just unrealistic. But if you find a group of guys, a nice little circle that constantly watch your stuff, I feel that, or they constantly support your stuff. I think that is way more important than having a bunch of no-name people come to you and you have like 800 people watching and they're watching you because everybody else is there, not because they're here to see you. And I think that's one of the things where a lot of people who have a lot of numbers don't realize that, like, honestly, they can give a damn about you because once you stop making the content, they're gone. I like. That's why I like people coming to us for us.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because there's one person I'll call out, and I'm sorry, but he's an enemy in the podcast. Fuck him. Mills, right?
Yeah.
Mills wants to bring
He's
up,
a prime, and no disrespect, but he's a prime example. Seriously,
he's a prime example, right? So Mills wanted to talk about the size of our podcast, right? Oh, you got your little podcast over there. It's like, bro, our podcast may be small, but guess what? We could talk about the fucking ABCs for 2 hours if people listen to us. You tucked your tail and ran back to Madden franchise despite going on a rant about it because nobody gave a fuck about your content. You talked about how Diamond Dynasty was broken and you went back and played MLB The Show after the fact. Because people were talking about, you have no personality, bro. You're an over-the-top, middle-aged, comb-over having Cheeto KFC sandwich eating motherfucker who is a black hole of charisma. I'm sorry, you are. Numbers will not dictate that. Numbers will not change that. There's nothing to change that. And this isn't a Bash Mills podcast because I could go on all night. But the point is, he's a prime example of somebody who will sit and talk about smaller podcasts and say that what we're saying has no credibility simply because we don't have thousands of subs.
Bills, regardless of the numbers, I've seen people who are bigger than us 3-4 times, even 10 times the size of us, quote our stuff that we say on this podcast and make it their gospel.
Of course.
I've seen it happen on several times. Real quick, let me get this in because I know this guy works and he always try to get a comment in before he goes back to work. Real Football Gamer says that been playing Madden 10 after playing Madden 12 on PS2. Been loving the older Madden. So glad that they're out there. Let's keep this up. Good vibes about sports and sports gaming. Yeah, all the time. I always play the PS2 and original Xbox ones. I need to stream those more because I know Real Football Gamers asked me to put that on the YouTube channel. So I need to do that more. I do apologize, but I always appreciate that. OG also says, social media has changed everything. It's very easy to state an opinion now. Have you ever took the time and looked at the forums of sports games back in the day, 99 to 05? Completely different vibe. He's absolutely correct.
OG.
It was also easy
go
to
ahead.
access them. It's easier to access forums now than it was back then because the way the internet was back then in the late 90s going into like 2005, it's just like you had to be a part of the website. You had to be signed in order to access a lot of forums. Versus now, you don't have to, sign up. You don't have to create a username. You can just look and skim through.
Let's go to OG's point for a second because that's something else we can talk about. Shout out to Quaface, even though you were being a bit of an ass at last podcast.
Before you start, we also have a community here that doesn't mind getting roasted, and it's a part of it's part of the good vibes here. It's because everybody that common goal mentality is just like, look, nothing personal. But you're getting roasted because you said some stupid shit.
Right. Hey, shout out to Pelican Man, wherever he is.
Well, let's go to what OG said, right? So this is something we talked about a couple of podcasts ago. It was like, okay, people these days, right? For example, they feel like they can tell the game developers how to make a game, right? We don't do that here. We don't tell you how to make the game. We tell you what we believe is football or basketball or soccer or you name it, right? From a fan's perspective. These days, here's what happens. And I'll use wrestling as an example. You'll have a guy like Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer's never wrestled. Dave Meltzer's never ran a wrestling company. Dave Meltzer has an opinion that people hold near and dear to their hearts, where he debates with people who are experts, right? They've actually performed in the business. And that's the issue to me is like, I'm sorry, but on social media, your opinion is not always important in relevance to somebody who has expertise on that particular topic. And that's another thing in the community that needs to be realized is, I'm sorry, but we're not all even as far as what we're good at, what we're good at talking about. Our content is not all it's not all measured equally, right? Because, it's like if you take a guy's opinion that has been saying a bunch of stupid shit about football, right? And then you go and you try to defend it, and we've called him out about saying dumb shit about football. That's an issue to me. Right. Because if I'm gonna sit and try to debate basketball with OG, I better be saying some shit that's pretty on point, right? If I'm gonna tell him what's wrong with his game, I better be saying shit that's irrefutable. Which is another issue with this with the gaming community is they don't have evidence with the shit they talk about. They bring their feelings into it, but they have no evidence to back it up. And then what ends up happening is it becomes devs versus gamer. But really, the dev is over here like, look, just prove what you're saying. Send me a video. Send me a stream, or if you're telling me that this coverage is being ran wrong, explain why. And then, it comes to, well, it's his opinion. What? His opinion doesn't always matter. Because sometimes you have no basis to your opinion. If you have opinion,
this is the problem when you have quote unquote. Well, we'll just talk about the football gaming community real quick. When you have those sectors within that community that looks at their channel and they feel like their channel can tell them they do no wrong, because then they boost their head up to think that they have knowledge because of the numbers they see in front of them. We have a couple of people that are in the community. I'm not going to name their names, but we have a couple people now that you can't tell them nothing because they have X amount of subscribers. And the people that are there will boost their head up and tell them, go, because they feel like you're the bigger voice to what they want. Not because they necessarily like your attitude or your personality or actually like the creativeness of your content. They just say, hey, this person is a vessel to get at this company, so I'm going to rock with whatever he says and I'm not going to go against him. Soon as you do something opposite of that, oh, he's sold out, I'm going to go to such and such, I'm going to go do this. This is the type of stuff that I want to avoid. I don't want people to not be around. Well, I don't want them to be around if they're around because we're saying something that don't benefit them. I want you to be around because you like what we do.
You know what that goes into, VF?
What's up?
Stop living vicariously through a content creator.
Right.
We want everybody here to have their own opinion. If you think we're fucking up, tell us. We might not agree, but if we truly are fucking up, there's been plenty of times we've gotten facts wrong. Somebody's come and said, hey, it was actually blank. Okay, yeah, we were wrong, right? But these yes men in these communities are toxic. They're more toxic than the people that they're yes men to. Because they're building and feeding into it. And sometimes, I'm sorry, but there's nobody who this shit never stinks. Everybody's wrong sometimes. Everybody's off base sometimes. Shout out to Chris Thomas. One of my favorite podcasts from your number one fan / unofficial, unofficial first and Framerates co-host. So, I mean, I appreciate everybody who enjoys our content, but by all means, and we know that y'all roll like this, y'all will tell us if we're fucking up. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I'm going to go back. Important thing in the community, checks and balances. We didn't talk about that.
And that's another thing I want to ask DJ. When you have people that are being just a bunch of yes men, is that really a community?
No, technically it is a community by definition, but not by reality. It's just people like bunch of yes men, brown nosers, pretty much like
that's a cult.
You wind up with stuff that happened yesterday in DC.
That is you know what, and I really don't want to go there because that's way left, or you can say way right, based on the political. But you can say, but that is the problem when you do have a bunch of people who are following something, may not even be following blindly, but when you're following something that really has no logical ending to it,
right? Shit
like that happens, and people are willing to do that for some of these content creators.
Because remember, there were comments talking about the sim football community. Remember, there were comments made about certain devs during that time. Oh, I'm a drop kick a dev was the biggest one. That was the funniest thing I ever heard. I was like, people are in there feeling so much. There's some outlandish things knowing
We've
that they're
seen
just
it.
they're commenting on they're talking about drop kicking a dev that's like 3 times their size.
But DJ, we've seen it destroy friendships of ours
Yes.
because somebody else was so misty. They had such this misty-eyed allure for this content creator they were working with, and they ran to his defense when we were just fucking around. We were just joking.
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you, like, a lot of people don't know what is going on behind the scenes in that community. Is one of the reasons why I decided to break off of, because people literally stopped talking to each other behind stuff like this, and I found that really ridiculous.
Yes,
it was really ridiculous.
But you know what? But you know what though? And we said this. I said this one day. When we were off air, I said the great thing about us is the reason why we can argue and tone it down right away and come back and talk is because our friendship goes outside of gaming and outside of the Madden community, and that's part of what happens when they start these partnerships together based on content, and then it comes to where you have an impasse and you have an argument and you can never recover because your foundation of your partnership or your friendship is one thing that isn't even, platonic. It's literally business. It's a business venture that has gone, completely wrong. But what were you going to say, DJ?
I was going to say one of the things about what makes a community, whether it's a gaming community, political community, or whatever, it offers opportunities to grow. I'm like, it can start as one thing, but it doesn't stay just about that one thing. Like, I look at our community once again, looking at our Discord channel. We literally have a section. We have a channel section for music, movies, wacky news. It's like we feel like you can talk about anything in the Discord community, and then yes, on the podcast itself, we do talk about the sports and video gaming and try to keep it within that realm. But then, like, my individual streams go back out into the wild a little bit and talk about some of the stuff that's in our Discord that pops up. VF talks about older games that have gone by the wayside because people are so focused on the games of today that offer less and you pay more for. And then Bill's, with his music career and his vast knowledge of just sports in general, not just basketball, not just, football. You got baseball knowledge, hockey, and it's like well-versed. I'm like, it offers something. Like, we here offer something for somebody, whether in
anyone and everyone.
Right. And through our example, hopefully they're able to expand themselves and grow within themselves. I think at the end of the day, that's what truly grows a community, is that you offer opportunities for growth, period.
Now,
Dripback says, "Hey guys, how you guys are doing today? Hope you guys are staying safe." Hey man, we're always trying to stay safe, especially with what's all going on. Always trying to do that. OG also says, I started OG. I'm gonna let you go after this one. I started OG Sports at the time simply so devs can have a place to get particular feedback. We created a place where you didn't have to go through 150 bad posts to find a good one. That is a really good idea. That was really
now let's talk about that.
Rex talking about that. Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because this is a discussion people don't like having, but they need to have it. Part of a community is knowing who to and who not to let in your community.
Yeah, we had that issue one time with the Discord, but
we did. Because the thing is, I'm sorry, but you can't welcome in folks who don't jive with, to use I can't find a better word, that don't vibe or jive with your community. What are they like? It's just like we talked about with the Discord just now. You have to really, look into these people before you let them in, because you can't be all inclusive, because that's how the vibe changes. That's how the focus changes. You know, I'm sorry. We talk about this all the time, and it's a joke. But let's be honest, Damon Grow, we let him into our community, and
that just made things worse because people already had high hopes. They had high hopes for nothing already.
We let Damon grow into our community and welcomed him with open arms as a result of desperation for another football game. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, you're a dev that has to prove yourself. Stay out there. Let us know what you got. And when we see it's something that we want and what we're looking for, we'll let you into the fraternity. But people don't want to talk about that because it seems standoffish or exclusionary. I'm sorry, but that's part of a community. That's part of a community. You have to know who to let in your community. Some people simply aren't allowed because they're toxic, or they're going to change what the focus is in the community. And it's nothing against them, but this place just isn't for them. And that's just sometimes you have to accept that. There can't be benefit of the doubt all the time. Right. So I mean that's another thing that folks don't want to talk about. Damon Grow, Cal Anderson, the list goes on and on. People they got false intentions. They claim they have good intentions. They don't prove those good intentions, but they're already in the community building a fan base of their own, full of our people.
Well, let's not even talk about just devs. You could talk about some gamers in general. I mean, you've seen it here where you had one person who would come here and would just literally all they want to do is find out what we have to say and just click the dislike button and run off. You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that was ridiculous. And the thing about it is what we were saying about anybody. I mean, we don't say anything about someone just to be saying it. It's a reason why we're saying shit about you. That's how it's always going to be. You know, we're not one of these type of people just to mess with you just because. Trust us, it's a reason.
Or a guy that panders to the sim community when it's convenient, but then drops him like a bad habit when it's not convenient because he wants to do his little retrospective of Madden.
Right.
And,
so,
we let him into the community.
Right. So you just have to be real mindful of stuff like that. It's like it's not just devs or whatever. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Jared? How you doing? Chris Thomas has sent me a link so I can say something. I'm gonna open the link up in this what time is it right now? Probably within the second hour of the podcast, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. The reason why I'm gonna do that. I was gonna save that for when we move over to Twitch, but I don't see why I can't do it now. I'll let you guys know in a second. But I'll open the lines up then. When it comes to like the community in general, like our community, what are some things that that we could possibly do to just continue to expand? I mean, are there any ideas? I mean, not anything that's just not too big or anything like that. Just something in general, like you want to expand on, or what we're doing, like as far as commentary. Like I said, opening the lines up, a different day that we do a special episode of the podcast. I mean, DJ, what are your thoughts? What do you think we can do? And this is another question for you guys too. In the comments, like I'll open the lines up a little bit later, and then you guys could come on, and then you can discuss it as well. So, what do you think? What do you think, DJ?
I think one of the things that we can do, because I know that we've been a little bit more active in the voice channel aspect of our Discord community. I think we need to incorporate Discord into actually this podcast, so you don't have to send an extra link. You just pop in, and it's just like it would kind of give you that like call-in feel, and they can just pop in. I don't know how it can be done with StreamYard or whatnot, or that would have to be some separate.
I like the idea, but let me tell you why I'm against it. Because once you bring someone in, they're in, and I don't want to go through clicking the mute to everybody once they're in. You know what I'm saying? You
can kick somebody out.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't. I mean,
see, this goes into the whole thing. I know you don't. It's one of those things where it's just like it's a necessary evil to accomplish something for the greater good. I'm like, that's the idea behind doing that, because you're gonna have to boot some people out, but that's part of the growth.
What are your thoughts, Bill? What do you think that we could do that? Nothing really significant, nothing really huge or anything. Just an extra idea that you would want to add to continuing building our gaming community. Because the people don't want to admit, or they don't want to, say because they're haters. We are a gaming community. We just don't talk shit over here.
No, we always talk shit over here. It's like, I'm just kidding. Oh, I forgot. You guys don't talk shit because y'all stay quiet if the goat is in front of y'all.
Oh boy.
So.
I think polling the community about our content is something that needs to be done a bit more. I feel like the viewers are obviously satisfied because they show up and they listen, but you can always still take the temperature of what they want to see, if there's something new, see if enough people want to see that on a consistent basis. If not, we'll find a way to work it in maybe on a less consistent basis. And then the other thing would be advertisement, right? Advertising what we do. Even if it's just a Twitter page or an Instagram dedicated to just this podcast or the Discord, just something to get more eyes on it. And then from there, we can vet exactly who we want to, let in and see if we can grow from there.
No, that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to continue to try with the StreamYard thing, because we use StreamYard. And the reason why I say that, I want to use where this could be the call-in area so people could just click the link and come and they could talk and we'll go down. The Discord is a second option. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm going to try this first to see how it plays out. And we'll go from there, because Discord is actually a pretty good idea. But the thing, really, you can't go wrong with either one, to be honest. So
right.
I'll just keep it open and see which one will stick, which one will work. It just seems like it's more convenient because I've been using this one a little bit longer.
It would be hilarious to have somebody call in the Discord like it's a radio show.
See, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, like you come in.
It's kind of like you could do that with the same format here.
Just think if somebody is talking bullshit, you could just like kick them, and it'd be one of those moments like y'all was talking about how it felt like how before we did before we did the camera thing, how it felt like I just got choked up and all of a sudden like
well, that was just you having bad internet though. I was like you was at 56K or something.
No, what I think that was the moment I had dropped something. That wasn't my internet.
Yeah, it just sounded like somebody came from behind and just pulled you up out of that chair.
Yo, somebody choking DJ out over there. That was mid-sentence.
It was funny as hell too. Yeah, that shit was crazy. But yeah, like I said, I already talked about it. Where we at now? 52 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till we finish the first hour. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the link in, and I'm gonna put the link on the in the chat, and it's gonna be on the It's gonna be on the top of the YouTube chat, and I'm gonna pin it at the top so you guys can click. And if you guys want to come in, you can give us a few comments or whatever. If the line is long, you got other people want to come in, I'm going to limit the time to speak because I want to get everybody in. And I think it's another way of us trying to be more unique and being aware that nobody else is doing what we're doing. And I understand there are some people doing certain call-in shows and they're doing this, that, and the third. And I'm not trying to necessarily follow them. I just feel that I know that what we do and the people that are here and the people that will comment here will actually have, a little bit more to say than just trying to be jokey. And, it's a time and place for it. And I feel like it happens certain times, but when you just put it out there for people, you're waiting for that to happen or you want people to do that, I feel that it's not as funny when you're looking for it. Like with our comedy, it happens like organically. So, I like people come in and talk about the topic or whatever, and if something funny just happens to happen, that what makes it funnier, So it's all good. It's all good. But
let me talk about
go ahead.
Let's talk about 2K real quick, man. It's gonna be real quick. So I heard about all these new storylines and added scenes from my career. So I've been playing my career. Now I get through my first year of college, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the NBA. Everything was fine. I get drafted, and usually what happens is, in the past, if you wanted to go and buy clothes like NBA apparel for the in game, like compression pants and socks, you would just be able to freely do it. Do you know this year on Next Gen, these motherfuckers make you play online to have access to the clothing stores?
Really? Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Bro, I turned the game off. I turned the entire game off. How can you put shit that is offline behind a wall that is online based?
Wait a minute, didn't we talk about this when 2K21 was first released?
Yeah, but it wasn't like that on current gen. On next gen, you literally have to play games on Park just to unlock the NBA store in the city as a whole, just to buy compression pants or knee pads or socks, sneakers. You can't buy any of that shit till you play online on Park. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that NBA Live got right since 18. You actually had to play the game to get that stuff. They really didn't put any of that stuff behind a paywall. And the way they did their My Player and how they did the streets and the park or whatever you want to call on NBA Live, they did a phenomenal. I mean, they did well on that since 16. I mean, me and Bills used to play 16 a lot. Was it 16? Yeah, it was 16. Mm-hmm. We played 16 a lot when we was doing My Player.
We played on 16 because everything else in the game was garbage.
Yeah, oh boy. Thanks, DJ. DJ gave me that game because DJ sent me the game when he won it.
I won the game. I sent it to him.
Yeah, he sent it to me, and I
you didn't pay for it. Yeah, you didn't pay for it.
It was a free game. Shut up.
Hey, you right? People shouldn't complain about free stuff. You're right. You're right.
We got some good laughs out of it.
Hey, people should. Hey, people should complain about free stuff, but my God, I mean that game was just bad enough that.
No, VF. If we streamed what we were playing, that shit would have been.
I agree. What? Yeah, but what we streamed and what we played made the game look dope, and it was dope. But the game as a whole, man, you couldn't play that game on the real NBA stuff. Live 16 was just, oh my God.
Yeah. Live 15 to this day is the GOAT.
VF had this badass white boy banging on people.
Hey, yeah. I remember that. Hey, I think I can't remember his name. I think I called him Brandon Birdsong or something like that.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, I gave him a funny name and all, but dude was dope though. Dude was killing it.
Then I made dude on NBA 2K18. I think his name was like Skip Wankman.
Yeah.
We used to do stupid shit like that. So one day we were like, yo, we keep hearing about Live Run. Let's play. Man, we went on Live. That's how you've seen some of the worst animations ever.
Man, listen. The concept was great, but man, they had to do so much work. Hey, OG, I know you on it. Live, man. You doing? Hey, man, make one of the biggest turnarounds in sports gaming history, please.
That would definitely be one of the big. That would be like Cleveland winning a championship in 2016 type turnaround.
Right. Let's get it. I mean, goodness, I'm playing Live 19 now. Matter of fact, this is a shameless plug. I'm going to be playing that tomorrow on the live stream. Game number 2 of my fantasy draft franchise on Live 19. Man, I got a pretty good team set up. So hope you guys come through. Yeah, I got with the Bulls, and I drafted Trae Young. I got LeBron James. I got a couple other people. Yeah, I got a pretty good team stacked on my draft, man. It's a pretty good game. I
always thought about doing a fantasy draft. That's definitely a streamable.
Yeah, I agree. And the people who've been watching it, man, they love it so far. So
you know what's funny? The last time I did a fantasy draft, and it was in a live basketball game, but it was Live 95.
Really?
Yeah, I had David Robinson on the Bulls. Hey, David Robinson, Horace Grant. I think I kept Scottie Pippen. I forgot who did I have as shooting guard. I don't remember. I think I also had Gary Payton at the point.
This shit's pissing me off because it just reminded me of Draft Champions now.
Draft Champions is still. I'm gonna be honest with you. Draft Champions is probably one of the best things that they've done for Madden last generation.
It didn't expand on it.
No, they didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't expand on it. They just moved it inside MUT. If they would have left it as a standalone product or a standalone mode, that would be one of the modes that I would honestly play. And I will probably play that online because you built your team based on skill and the type of concept you want to run your offense and defense, and you went against other people online that did the same thing. When they moved it to MUT, that was the beginning of the end.
And I remember when Draft Champions came out, we were saying, look, what if they made a franchise mode or a season mode the way they did on APF? That's what I wanted because it automatically reminded me of APF.
Draft Champions was literally APF on Madden. That's literally what it was. It literally was APF.
And how mad you were when you felt tricked?
No. See, this is the thing. No. This is the thing. This is the thing. No, this is exactly the problem with that mode. That mode was a gateway to trying to get people into MUT. And it should not have been that. It should have been a standalone mode and just left it at that. It would have been great, but they wanted you to
a surprise mechanic before they actually coined it.
Right, exactly. It was ridiculous. It did not have to be that way. But just to go back to Bill's point about online interfering with offline affairs, that's just like that situation, and I guess it was a PS4 exclusive situation where every time I would log in and play 2K, all of a sudden my settings would be reset based on what would happen online with the online servers. And I was sitting there like, come on. I would have to turn the shot meter off every single time I loaded up 2K, and I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? Yep. And that was the stuff I was alluding to on Tuesday about online shit getting in the way of offline shit. And when that happens, that's when I have a problem. So
back to 2K. So I went back. So then later I came back to it. I'm like, I'm just gonna play an NBA game. When I tell you that is the worst my career gameplay ever, by far, it's not even close. Your teammates are oblivious on defense. It's the pick and roll defense from day one.
Damn.
Still in my career. And then, help defense. It's terrible. I don't know how people play it.
Yeah, honestly, since I don't have a next gen console, so I've never experienced that version of defense.
So bad.
I'll tell you one thing.
Thank you, OG. Thank you for last gen, OG. Thank you.
But I will say this. That was they had it like that on offense when my player first started. Like the offense in my player was like horrible.
Oh yeah,
like they didn't know
everything.
They wanted you to be the superstar. Like you couldn't be like this point guard that just wanted to get a bunch of assists to one of your if you wanted to one of your superstar players. Like you had to be the superstar. Like all of a sudden, if you're playing with LeBron's going to average like 12 points a game because you're my player. Like no, give me the 13, 14 assists a game and let him score the 30 something points because that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, here's another issue. Hendrick. So they have this character named Hendrick Cobb. Apparently, you played AAU or something with him. He keeps popping up throughout the storyline all the way to the NBA. Tell me why they rig it. They rigged the draft so y'all get drafted to the same team, back-to-back picks.
That's almost like that. What was that Jackson fella on 2K?
Exactly. I was second in the draft. He was first. We both got drafted to the Knicks, back-to-back. Is that number 2 picks? Is
that like a storyline version of my career?
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes a lot of sense. Never mind that.
But the fact that they brought that into the NBA version of it was dumb because I'm like, look, how are you gonna rig it so we get drafted to the same team back to back if we're the top 2 prospects? You have to perform bad on purpose to separate the fucking picks. You're still gonna end up on the same team.
Right.
That's crazy, bro.
All right, I put the link up at the top of the comment section on the live chat. So if you guys want to come in and you got a few things that you want to say, it's right there. We're going to start doing this more often. I really wanted to debut this on January 26th when we go to Twitch. It's going to one of my ideas, and I was going to call it the BS version or the BS hour of the podcast. And when I say BS, I don't mean BS. I mean BS as in barbershop, but. I think BS sounds cool because you can make it wherever you want to make it out as. So we got one person here, Chris Thomas. He been on the podcast before. I know you got a few things you want to say, man. What's been going on, man? How you been?
All right. Happy New Year's to everybody. Hope
Happy
y'all
New
had a
Year.
good New Year's.
Yeah,
Go
man.
Bucks.
Same to you, man. I know you've been busy, man. You've been on and off for the past few months, man, doing your thing.
Yeah. Got some family stuff, so I'm trying to work that out. But I've been trying to pop my head in with y'all. I try to say hey every now and then, and been always, I'm a day one, always been your
Yeah, man.
official, unofficial co-host.
Yep.
Can't wait for Saturday. DJ, I know you're feeling the same way.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all going
Yeah.
against each other. That's right. Y'all going against each other in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
It's actually 2-on-1 over here. Bills
I
over
was about to say, how
here.
you not gonna include me, the bandwagon?
Well,
Bucks
Right,
fan?
exactly.
But see, Bills, you a Bucks, bro. So I mean, I already know you already ready.
I got the mask and
But
everything.
here's the thing. Honestly, I already expressed that there's already history between Washington and Tampa in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So
It is.
it's right now. This is the rubber match because it's 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also feel some type of way after that whole Kirk Cousins, you ready?
Oh yeah, that's
you
right.
like
It was
that. You
against
like
the
that.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, you like that.
Y'all were up on like 24, and we came back and won that game because y'all let Kirk Cousins light y'all asses up.
Yeah, you heard. Well,
You like that?
You like that? Yeah. But what I'm finna get on is this Madden community or lack thereof.
Okay.
Because I say, in my opinion, the Madden community is like politics. There's three types of parties. You have your conservatives, you have your independents, and you have your Democrats. Now, by how you determine which is what is by all means up to you. We all want the same thing. We just have different ideas about it. But and it's more of because I'm the independent of the group. I play from both spectrums. I'm a Sam head, but I also jump in the MUT area. I hear what people say.
So you're smut.
Here we go.
No, I'm a simpetitor.
Simpetitor. Oh, I like the sound of that. That was clever. That was
he
clever.
just called himself a simp. Come on, man.
Right.
The
short version of that is simp.
I'm a simpetitor.
Simp.
Hey, but I like that. No, but I like the play on words. I like how you did that, though. Yeah, I mean, simp is simp, but no, simpetitor. I like that.
The hyphen would go after the P. It's simp editor.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
But because I hear on one side, but at the end of the day, I want what Madden's supposed to be.
Bills, I'm about to make you laugh.
Oh.
Look in the private chat. Keep talking, Chris. I'm just gonna make you laugh.
But I'm here with Matt. I want to play how Madden's supposed to be played as. It's supposed to be played as a simulation of football. Lack thereof of what anybody says of anybody's opinion. I'm going by what the 2005-2006 version.
I know Chris can see this. It's not like he can't flip over to it and see it.
Bruh.
Yeah, don't say that out loud. Please don't say that out loud. But I get what you're saying, Chris. I get what you're saying, Chris. You're right, man.
But yeah, and
classic.
Sometimes it like, for example, I'm not gonna give out the man's name. He simply said, I may be misquoting, but he simply said that I'm tired of seeing drop balls in Madden.
It don't happen.
That had to be a comp player.
Yeah,
it definitely was a comp player.
In other words, he's saying I'm tired of seeing my defensive players dropping balls, interceptions in Madden.
But they're on defense for a reason. That's why they're on defense, because they can't catch.
Right.
I simply said, but players drop balls all the time in football.
Wait a minute, though.
Like I said, Chris. That's the reason why they're on defense. If they can catch the ball on defense, you know what they'll be? They'll be wide receivers.
But here's what's crazy, Chris Thomas. In the same breath, you had somebody from the same community who said, if it's not a user, they should drop the interception. They don't know what the fuck they want.
Yep, you're right.
But that's true. But then I come up with and that's why I reply one. But players drop ball, and I didn't even say DBs. I just simply say players.
Right.
And he comes in and replies, "Oh well, I do not want it in my competitive mode."
Because they don't want football. That's why.
But then, and once again, okay, then my question is now. So you want to play football? You want to play a football game, but don't have football concepts.
They want to play football. No, they want to play. They want to play Call of Duty football.
Yep.
They want to play clean football.
But both of y'all are right. But I think Chris Thomas said it in the football realm of using the right words. You want to play football without the football concepts.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Even in NFL blitz, you drop passes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
10-yard fight, you drop out.
10-yard fight. 10-yard fight, you drop passes. So what are we talking about?
What is the catch? What is the catch rating for?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Or now I'm on next gen. I've been playing next gen for a minute.
Right. Should clean in it.
Oh my god. I love the movement and everything. Guess what? People say I don't like next gen. Next gen is slow. It seems like my players are in cement. I can't use her. Bro, I can use her.
They did a big patch to zone today.
Oh, I love it. I've been using it. They fixed a lot of stuff.
This is where I go to sleep.
I mean, franchise didn't get no love,
but
that's what I'm saying.
That's expected.
Online franchise mode made some love. It made some big steps for me as a commissioner and me running my own online Madden. That's did some big steps.
Yeah, but I mean, that's helping you customize your league, but not bringing the immersion to the mode.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm looking at that thing and I'm just like, is it my league yet?
No, I understand that, and see, and me and a couple of my buddies was talking about that when they were talking about how they miss franchise, and I simply like to say it like this: EA doesn't even have to do all that much. I just say, give me Madden 21 next gen with Madden 08 franchise. PS.
I don't. They didn't got to go that far. Give me Madden 12 franchise.
Let me tell you something. If they gave us Madden 21 next gen gameplay with Madden 08's franchise,
yeah, that'd be a wrap.
But like I said, it's that simple. It's really that simple.
It is.
All right. I got somebody else want to get in. This guy's an OG of the sim community. I mean, he's been around a very, very long time. Give me 1 second. Dave, speak, man.
Hello, y'all can hear?
What's going on there? Hey, Dave, you still in Atlanta?
Yeah.
How you been, man?
I've been doing good.
That's what's up, man. Hey, man, we living, man. I don't live in Atlanta no more. I'm in South Carolina, but it's good to hear from you, though. So tell us, man, what's on your mind?
Basically, the subject y'all was talking about earlier about the sim community.
Go ahead, keep talking, bro.
I think that people just don't want to. They want to do it their way and not expand and do it other people's way, and that's why the community is in an uproar. And I was looking back to when it, like when it was really heavy with me, DJ, and you, and Phil. Right. It was like there was a lot of confrontation, and really we wasn't getting nothing done.
Right.
And I just think that people need to, instead of critiquing it, if you know like a lot of football knowledge, do that. And I think the devs will be able to know what's wrong with the game and what's not wrong with the game.
Yeah, and I think that goes with people who would like legitimately have football knowledge and not just saying words that sound good. Because I played football, I know DJ, and I know I don't have all the knowledge. That's why I don't even come at, when I did breakdowns, I didn't come at it to a point where I'm like, oh, I know this, so listen to me. Right. I'm just going to show it to you. I'm just going to show you on the screen like, yo, this is the problem. Now, whatever y'all can do with it, let me know. But you got people that are out here that actually felt like they knew what they were talking about, and in some cases they didn't.
You know,
what's that?
Unfortunately, you also have people who try to break the game down from a technical standpoint instead of an X's and O's standpoint, and that's another issue that Dave is alluding to. I think is like, we want to be able to talk about a DB making a mistake based on the game having his awareness at a certain level, right? And okay, well, he's supposed to do this, but as a result of the fact that this receiver ran through the zone, he took that route, boom, somebody was open up the field. Not, okay, he's suctioning into this. I mean, come on, we already know that, right? How many times are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, right.
And there's also two differences, like, especially in this community, because there's football talk and there's Madden talk.
Yes.
Oh yes, Lord. Good
Amen
Lord.
to that. Good Lord. Yeah.
Because I can talk about football all day, about between what's an actual, like from outside the inside zone, what you're actually responsible for, what you're supposed to look at, between alignments and linebackers and whatnot, or reading from safety from high to low. But when you're talking about, then you have Madden talk of, oh, I'm finna dumb out this wide receiver, I'm finna glitch this person out, and I'm finna run nickel 3-3-5 all damn day and try to get a screen from somebody. Like, I watched one of those Madden tournaments. If anybody saw the Twitch one where I think this guy named Rival versus J-Wall. And majority of the whole game, this man glitched out his DB. I mean, literally motion the guy, hot route him, and dumb out his DB from manning him single high to manning tight end and leaving somebody wide open.
Now, I wanted to ask Dave Eagle a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the Madden devs are responsible for giving in to the people who don't want a skill gap?
Yes, they are responsible because they're trying to please everybody instead of pleasing one crowd. If you please one crowd, the other crowd won't have their go, so they're gonna buy the game no matter what.
Like they're trying to please everybody by pleasing nobody.
But they call themselves a sim game, not a simcade game, not a comp game. They call themselves a simulation. And that's what we talked about in this podcast a lot of times. We've said they prostitute that word simulation when it is convenient for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this now. I don't know if he's still listening. OG, and I, like I said on the last podcast, I'm trying my best to keep NBA Live 19 alive. One thing about Live 19, and people talk about the game and its gameplay, the game was core basketball. It didn't have all this other funny stuff in it to try to, to make people cheese or whatever. You literally had to play the game to be good at it. It didn't have all this weird stuff in it. Hopefully you'll continue to build off that, whatever you guys are doing. So, because if anything, if we can get a few games like that, I mean, that'd be great. So I just wanted to add that because Madden's been having his issues with that.
Yeah.
I want to have another thing to say. I think that Madden's like rating system, they used to have it on the PS2 where the rating system goes up and down. I just think that it's there throughout the game.
They stopped that. I don't know when they stopped it, but I know NCAA 14 still has it. And I don't know why they got away from that.
I think they changed it when they changed the hot and cold streak. And then what was it? The actual name of it was dynamic player performance. Was
something like that, yeah.
That they used to, like, one, dictate the hot and cold streaks, and then also the ratings jump. They pretty much took out the ability to have negative, like, there's regression in Madden, but it's not significant enough. Like, people have cried enough to, like, take anything that could provide a significant change throughout the season from game to game and stuff like that. Like I'm looking at the thing where it says where ratings can change in the franchise, and I don't see the selection where it says every week, every 4
like
weeks.
weekly, because remember
that was for the CPU to do, not just
right.
Like, we can do whatever, but the CPU.
Because DJ, you remember back on the PS2 days, and anybody else played, that used to be the standard. Like every week, their overall or certain attributes would change every week.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. Here's my issue with ratings, and I talked to DJ about this. We had a long discussion about 2K. A long discussion about 2K. The issue with these sports games, and it's mostly 2K and Madden, these devs don't realize what they're doing to the game with some of these ratings because they want to go and they want to please these people who are just looking at the numbers on a piece of paper before the game comes out. And when you play the game and you realize immediately why the game, you know, why Rudy Gobert is terrible on help defense. Why?
Well, I know why he's because I know why he's bad. Did he change his number to 19 yet?
Wow.
But no, I mean, like you automatically see it right away when you go to the ratings and see that a guy that should have like an 80 defensive consistency has a 37. And you wonder why this shit popped up. So it's like, he sure didn't defend himself from COVID. Oh my lord!
But
for the ratings, I know, right? But for the ratings to fluctuate, for it to matter, the ratings fluctuating, they have to start in a place that makes sense. And a lot of the ratings don't start in a place that makes sense because the devs are too worried about, oh, well, somebody's going to complain that Kevin Durant's a 99 because I gave him a 99 offensive consistency and LeBron's a 98 because his defensive consistency is a bit lower than Kevin Durant's. It's stupid. They need to stop paying attention to what people say about ratings on a screen. What does the game play like?
See, and that's another thing.
Absolutely.
I want to jump in on that too as well, as far as stuff operating from what makes sense. Like you can look at 2K. If you are in a particular system, it should either increase your ratings or decrease your ratings. You're talking about being able to manipulate training aspects that will increase their rating or decrease their rating.
They have that in FIFA. You play out of position, your rating automatically go down.
NCAA 14 has that right now. And go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris Thomas. Go ahead. You go.
I was about to say because there's no actually consequences on Madden 21 with the whole scheme system.
Yeah.
The only thing you get with the scheme system, if you get the scheme system, you do team training, you get extra XP boost.
Yeah, that's
Other
it.
than that, that's it. There's no.
I'm gonna give you an example. What I mean.
Yeah, let Dave go.
Oh, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, and I just want to say, at least for football, that certain positions should have that only rating because it shouldn't make sense for a defensive player to have route running when they don't run route rating.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that because the thing is, you know, there are certain they're lazy, man. Like there's no other way to say it. They're lazy. I'm sorry. There's no reason why DB shouldn't have more ratings in the game. Why do they have route running? They should have ratings specific to their position. I don't think the catch rating should even be the same as a wide receiver's catch rating because the factors are different when you're catching the ball as a DB and intercepting it compared to when you know what route you're running and you end up in this spot and it's, are you going to catch the ball or are you not going to catch the ball?
Yeah.
Actually, they should have an actually backpedal or a transition rating.
They don't have a.
Well, that's ability.
Yeah, but actually, what is it? Agility now or change of direction?
Well, you got agility and then change of direction.
But think about this from a DB's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anything as far as like your reaction time, right? They don't have anything as far as that's concerned because, like, reaction time is very important as a DB. We can sit there and tinker with that slider all we want to. That's a universal slider. But Asante Samuel's jumping a route completely different than the next guy. And if you don't see that, if it's under the hood and it doesn't pop up for specific players that it should, I mean, shit, if you face Marcus Peters, you're not scared to throw an out route. He ain't jumping it. He'll randomly do it, right? But
it's crazy. I think the thing is It's more of they're more afraid of what the people are gonna say about it.
Yeah, of course. That's the
Because
issue.
I kid you not, if you look on Madden, and it's so far with one player, I haven't found it out with any other player. If you play Madden and you play with the Broncos, and you try to throw a route with Melvin Gordon at any time, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna drop the ball because he has a trait called drop the ball. There's only one player that has that through the whole roster of Madden.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like how can I trust you to assign traits to people if I can't trust you to know what your ratings mean? But they want us to trust them to give people superstar traits and X factors. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, and then honestly,
go ahead, Dave. Real quick, let Dave get in real quick.
Yeah,
And I think that too is a gimmick, the X factor, because really, if you look at the ability where he says you need to have 3 sacks in order to have that ability to be effective. D lineman doesn't have 3 sacks. It's rare that a D lineman has 3 sacks. So how are you gonna promote film if you're saying that you need to have 3 sacks in order to be a disruptive defensive lineman if they barely have 1 sack a game?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Because 3 sacks a game is that's almost like a team record for some teams.
But that's a Von Miller type game.
And
no, I'm just saying, like for real, like 3 sacks a game. I think in some NFL teams franchises, I think that'll be like in their record books if a player gets 3 sacks a game. So that's pretty rare.
But that's why Dave Eagle makes a good point because I mean, let's think about defensive tackles and how worthless they are. I'm sorry, but a guy can be the MVP of his team specifically just based on being a defensive tackle on defense and not have a sack. He's eating a double team, right? But they don't have those things matter in Madden. Like me and DJ talked about it. Well, how could a DB be in the MVP conversation when they don't keep track of, okay, well, he held this receiver that he was checking to 2 catches for 19 yards. They don't keep track of shit like that. The pass is defended, right? The pass deflections. None of that shit is kept track of, correctly. So you can't really gauge how good of a season the guy is having unless you look at the receivers and all the skill positions. Those are the only ones that really tell you that story.
Right. And I mean, and they just now in real life, they just started really counting passes defended as a stat in some cases.
And it's funny because on top of that, they're talking about forced incompletions. So you're talking about corners and DBs that they're now that I think they probably took away knockdowns because you have just pass deflections,
deflections,
but then forced incompletions. It's like the receiver has it, but it was
and he knocked it out of hand.
Right, exactly.
But it's like I remember a time when Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman was a legitimate conversation at the cornerback position, and people said Richard Sherman was a better corner simply because he got thrown at more and had more interceptions. And if somebody didn't use discretion and say, "Well, look at Darrelle Revis," they're just simply not throwing at him. Right?
Because there's a reason why.
You can't do that in Madden, right? You just look and say, well, what's this guy been doing all year? He has 20 tackles, no picks. It's weird, man. It's so weird.
I mean,
they be talking about like that person's not the best DB, but kind of find out every wide receiver that faced him averaged like 15 yards a game.
Exactly. And the guy's nowhere near the MVP conversation in your franchise, and he's literally the reason y'all are winning games. It's crazy.
Right.
But I mean, on hindsight, the next gen Madden, I see the I really see the promise. I see what they're trying to do. It's just them trying to do it and them like sticking to it are 2 different things. Because I like the movement. If you ever try to run the ball, like running between the tackles actually feels so like you have like people contextually trying to like arm grab you and you break tackles. You'll see weighted, like if you have heavier backs who will like try to push forward, have extra yards. Sometimes they'll get double or triple tackle just to bring them down. And I'm loving that. I really do love that. I love the route running. They improve on the passing defense. It's just like
Next gen's gameplay is top
phenomenal.
notch, but the issue is there aren't enough factors off the field that you can look at and franchise to.
But that goes back to what I was saying. Like, it has to be, you have to create an alternate universe, a different atmosphere in the game. It's good to have good gameplay, and the game plays like the sport. But once you finish that one game, there's nothing carrying you over to the next game. Like, there's no, okay, what is this? Is he going to, double his stats next game? Or what he's going to do against this defense? Or what does this defense has in store for them? Because, like, there are games back on PS2, and, like you say, some games like Madden 08 on PS3 and NCAA 14 is another one, Madden 25. They gave you this sense like, okay, I could play the next game and it'll feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
Not just the gameplay, but just like the whole atmosphere or the environment that you're trying to create in a franchise mode. And like you don't get that.
Yeah, and that's true, because I'm a commissioner for an online league. Yeah. And what I loved about my companion app is we had a tool called Daddy's League or Game Huddle. And basically that is our immersion of keeping track with stats. We can post tweets. We try to immerse ourselves as much as possible.
It feels like you're really running a franchise. It feels like you're really running a league.
To keep the game somewhat fresh, because I understand nobody wants to keep on just, I gotta play Bills this week, or
right.
I gotta play DJ next week. Okay, run that through. But now, and that's the only thing now bad with next gen. I can't run my companion app, so I have to go on the old-fashioned way and try to make articles. Like, for example, in my league right now, it's our first year, and in the AFC, it's getting close to playoff time. I have 5 teams that are 7-4, and I have not. And to me now, I have something to write about.
But
then I have.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, go ahead.
And I think if they were to make a game plan online where you see what type of plays each player calls, you able to see their game plan, what plays they like to run, that would be like a good thing for online league, because now you have to actually strategize on what to call.
Right.
Yep. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I mean, it's weird because Madden's really the only game falling short with this, as far as, other things like seeing trends throughout a game and knowing the identity of the team you're playing against. DJ and me have these conversations about 2K all the time, where we see a team doing something and then we might adjust to it and then they'll change up. Or if they're not that good of a team, they won't change up. In Madden, so much of the shit is random, and you can't really even go by the percentages of what plays they call. Oh, yeah, they're an inside draw team. And then you go and play against them, they don't run inside draw at all. They don't run inside zone. They don't. It's like, where are you coming up with these percentages? Like, it makes no sense. You can't scout a team properly other than staring at ratings. I'm sorry. In real life, there ain't no ratings. You look on the other side and you see Aaron Donald, and you can say, look, he can get off blocks really quick. He's going to wreck the game for us, period. Not, he has a 98 block shed. Nobody gives a shit about his 98 block shed.
You can literally see, if you watch me play NCAA 14, I'll play my Georgia Southern Dynasty. I lost to Colorado, and I showed why I lost to Colorado, turned around and changed quarterbacks, and the team played totally different. I'm doing that right now. I'm doing that right now in my Georgia Dynasty. I have this one quarterback. He's somewhat of a scrambler. He plays okay. But right now, I have to use him because he's injured. But the first 3 games, we were barely winning games. Now I have another quarterback. He's more of a scrambler that fits my offense. And everybody else is really, they're truly playing better. And I haven't lost a game at all. But most of my games have been more widespread victories instead of just trying to struggle to win, because even though this quarterback that's supposed to be the starter is a 91, his speed is like a 77. Now the backup is a 74, but his speed is like an 87. Their throwing power is a little bit the same. I think the guy's a 74, his throwing power is lower, but he has a dynamic, and based on the playbook that I'm running, it fits him better. So now my offense just plays better. And if you watch any of my streams on Twitch, that was the same thing with my Georgia Southern Dynasty. It did the same thing. Once I changed quarterbacks, I haven't lost a game since. We don't have that in some of these games no more, and that sucks.
Revamp? You're playing Revamp VF?
I got that. I'm not playing it now, but I am playing it on my PC. I'm not playing it on PC because I'm streaming right now, but I am playing it.
Here's another thing that's crazy. Why would Madden think it was cool to pop up on the screen that the CPU is going to start stripping the ball late in the game? Why are you telling me that? In real life, they're not going to walk to your huddle and say, look, man, you better protect that fucking ball because every time you run through the line, we going to.
But you know what, though? You're right. You're right. But you know what I would like to hear? I would like to hear on the field chatter saying somebody saying something like that, though.
Exactly.
I would like that to happen.
That's way better than popping up and having a banner right under the scoreboard saying they're going from conservative tackle to aggressive now.
I can't remember.
Pulled you out of the immersion because I look at what 2K finally
the double team. Oh
yeah,
God.
the double team aspect. Because last year you pretty much knew when the double team was coming because two highlighted circles will appear.
Under the defenders.
It's just like, really? Yeah, they're coming. Whatever. I'm gonna just pass.
I remember. I don't know if y'all remember if anybody played 2K football back in the day. I don't know if it's 2K3 or 2K4 or 2K5. With Warwick Dunn, if you were having a good game with him, you would hear like sometime in the third quarter, you would hear like one of the defensive players say, "You know what? I'm tired of this. The people gonna start. This is what you say. I'm tired of you running on us. We're gonna start calling you Warwick Dunn for the day." I think it used to be so funny. It's like
or
2K.
Or they'll hear like watch Vic, or
right. Yeah. Like you hear him say something like, "Oh, it's like, oh no, he done ran one touchdown on us. Warwick Dunn. We're gonna start calling you Warwick Dunn for the day."
But it's like there's ways, and I hate to keep harping on 2K, but I'm sorry, they're the best example. There's ways to indicate either where a play needs to go. For example, I don't use the play design because I can tell by the guy that's putting his hands up saying pass me the ball. That's who's getting the ball. Now, if there's multiple options, maybe two people will do it. But most times, the guy who's supposed to get the ball in a particular set just puts his hands up and says, "Hey, I'm open, pass me the ball." And then the next part of it comes around. In Madden, it's the same thing. I don't need them to put a banner up and tell me that the team is going to start stripping the ball. If you have vocally the linebacker say, "Let's get a turnover" or something like that before the play starts, I know some shit's coming. In FIFA, they'll give you indications and gestures that this is where the ball's supposed to go. I'm open. Kick it to me, right? But they don't have to put a banner on the screen that says, "Hey, number 46 wants the ball." Like, you know what I'm saying? It's shit like that that's extremely gimmicky and casual, and it's like, bro, that's where the skill gap disappears. If you're gonna tell my opponent online that I'm gonna start stripping the ball, there ain't no point in me even changing any of my strategies. What's next? You're gonna tell them that I adjusted how far my DBs are off the line when in zone? You know, it's crazy.
That you indicated it already.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Good.
And I don't think they do the strip. Even when you have the strip on, they don't do it right. You don't see a defender try to hold up the offensive player and punch the ball out.
Exactly.
Yeah, they stopped. It seemed like that animation's gone. They stopped doing that. That used to be an animation in the game.
They don't even have them even going because you have DBs that just go for the punch. They don't even go for the tackle. They try to time it and they go for the punch. So they don't even have that.
Because a lot of those tackles on Next Gen have a lot more impact. But in the NFL and really on all levels, you see a lot of guys that are going to hold up a ball carrier and then the guy comes and tries to punch the ball out. But, yeah, you don't see it. You don't really see it. There'll be a lot more dynamic fumbles if that happened rather than just hit sticks and, whatever else.
But, see, and that's why you see most players when they get cornered, they run out of bounds.
Yeah.
Right.
But in Madden, you just – oh, okay, I have plenty of space. I can cover ground 2 seconds. I mean, on next gen, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And I've actually found myself running out of bounds a lot more.
Same here.
But there's still some things they can add in the way of, the computer adjusting to what you're doing over time. They do make halftime adjustments, but it takes until halftime for them to kind of adjust to what you're doing, and you kind of have to notice it, what they're doing and adjust accordingly. But it takes a bit too long for them to adjust. I think those adjustments should be coming drive in, drive out, especially offensively. You know what's working and what's not working.
I believe, and I also believe, I think, like, for Madden 22, I think they should, like, tone down catching animations compared to, like, when it comes to, like, receiver and DB differentials. Like, for example, if I have somebody like a big body receiver going up against like a smaller DB, I should want height to actually matter instead of that animation to matter.
But you know what though? I'll be honest, I haven't noticed that on next gen. I think the animations have all been playing out. I'm telling you. Like, I've been throwing some crazy fades and back shoulder throws all based on position. And whenever I have a guy that's bigger, the only way that the animation doesn't work out for me is if I don't place the ball correctly, or if literally it's a DB that has a coverage rating to the point where he'll push a guy out of position and he won't be able to jump and get that ball. But a lot of the animations have made sense to me. But like I said, I play on sliders, so it's also a different experience.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have next gen, so I don't know. So I'm asking, does the wide receiver get in position more of a catch on next gen?
Yeah,
because the thing is now the ball is a little less tethered. Like, they've done a little bit more work with that, and now if you have a big body receiver, he'll have the correct animation pop up that is best for him to catch the ball in that situation. So you're not gonna have animations pop up and say, well, why did he just kind of let the guy catch the ball when he clearly could have just jumped up? He didn't even contest it. Now you have situations where it's like, all right, yeah, I'm throwing the fade, and if I put it in the right spot, he's going to have a great chance of catching it. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes he catches it, comes down with it, the DB bats it out. Sometimes the DB will push him out of position. He'll catch it out of bounds. But all those animations end up making sense way more on next gen, especially based on the height and the ability of the player.
And route running is a lot better. You can tell more your timing routes. Like, for example, in current gen out routes, you can always throw your out routes like on the dime, no matter.
And it's because they're not running the regimented. People don't run out routes the way that they used to run out routes on Madden. You know what I'm saying? It's different in real life. You're not doing the 10 steps lined up, and then it's just weird. Everything seems a lot more free flowing.
But then on next gen, when you run an out route, it's not sharp. It's more rounded off. You're rounding it off. Therefore, it's more of a time.
Exactly.
So, and now that's up to you as the quarterback, because there's been plenty of times that if you throw that out route, like miss a line, or if you throw it too high, your cornerback's gonna jump. If you what's DJ playing?
Seahawks.
Oh, I don't know what he's talking about.
Because
the Rams
going back.
The Rams play the Seahawks. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
But
speaking of, look, I'm gonna ask another question before we go, but y'all go ahead.
I was gonna say there's nothing really negative I can say about the next gen gameplay. It's just the fact that there's not enough dynamic shit that happens to make you feel like you're playing in a living, breathing environment. Like personnel is a big one. If a quarterback throws 5 picks, pull him from the game. Period.
Thank you.
I've been playing against the Spurs on 2K for years, and Popovich will pull his entire starting lineup if they're fucking up. Their entire starting lineup. In the next game you play him, the guy that was fucking up the last time won't be starting.
Or better yet, take something out of NCAA playbook, and if you're blowing a team out, they'll automatically
sub the players in. Yep. They'll put if you're beating a team real bad, they'll automatically sub people in.
Go ahead, Dave.
You know what, Bill? That was in NCAA and PS2 days, where if the quarterback played bad, the computer automatically took him out.
Yep, they did. Yeah, they did. They did it for that too. Because I remember that in my NC State dynasty, when my defense was like beating somebody up real bad, they ended up putting the backup quarterback and the running back in.
Because they need to have coaching. They need to have coaching personalities, right? Every coach is different. If some players drop a pass and they're like, all right, we're just not going to run any plays at this point that factor you in. And sometimes a running back will fumble, pull them out, right? A punt returner fumbles or.
But I was just I was just talking about that in NCAA 14. The quarterback that I'm using, he's not that good. But when I put the lower overall rated quarterback in, who's more catered to the offense just been doing better.
Right.
You just don't have stuff like that.
Like you can't I'm sorry. I hate that. It's so much about the overall ratings and not enough about who fits into what scheme when you're playing these teams.
You know what?
And everybody's on the longest leash ever. Quarterback can throw 5 picks. He's still in the fourth quarter. Blowout game. It makes no sense. It's like they don't
I don't want to. I'm gonna put this up right now because I don't want anyone to think I'm lying. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I might not be able to, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna pull my camera down. Is the Elgato in here? Yeah. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Nope, that's not it.
Orange screen.
There we go. I don't want anyone to think I'm lying. Let me pull this up.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can blow this up. Where am I? Let's see. Now y'all see that, right?
Yeah.
J. Cole's, look at his overall. He's a 94, but look where I got him. Obviously, my quarterback right now, he's injured, so he's not playing. But he's more catered to the offense. He's 6'7", 214. He has a little bit better awareness. His arm is not all the way there, but he's more suited because of his speed and size. Now, the one who's 94 overall, he's only 6'1", 205. And he's been messing up because my offense, the offense that I run, is just not suited for him. He might transfer once this season's over because he's not necessarily a scrambler. He's basically a balanced quarterback. But this kid right here is a lot better. I got him hurt because running with him too much. But he's more catered to the offense. You need more of that in your franchise mode. That's the problem that we have. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the scenario engine that they've talked about. The scenario engine. Okay, well, why aren't we having quarterback competitions that we see play out? Why doesn't that quarterback competition include the current starter being on a short leash, and maybe you're playing against the Eagles week 4, and Carson Wentz throws a pick and he gets pulled in the first quarter, right? Position battles, all that shit takes place under the hood, and you might see a running back win that position, but then from that point forward, the overall ratings take over, and that's the issue. It's like so much of it is just based on ratings. I don't know what I did with these sliders, but these sliders, the overall rating don't mean nothing with the sliders I put in this game. It's really about what kind of offense you run and who caters to it. And like I said, what I just showed y'all is a prime example of that. Just because dude's a 94, that don't mean nothing. Dude can't play worth a damn. I'm forced to use him right now because my guy is injured. But when I put him in the game, I'm on a 4-game winning. Well, I was winning. I won all my games so far, but now I'm winning games by 20 and 30 points compared to, if y'all seen the screen earlier, I'm in a battle 27-24 right now because his quarterback's not that good.
I mean, they also need to put more variables in when it comes to free agent signing. I don't need to just max out a dude contract and I play for the Jets and bam, he's just gonna be there. I mean, give me some actual substance like location, team prestige. I mean, startability.
That's what I'm saying. It's the bare minimum, man. It's the bare minimum. They just started putting adaptive AI in. We're still not sure how it even works.
Hell, they just put in the draft logic.
Yep, they just put that in. I just saw that in the notes. You're right.
What about orange strength? Does that matter on next year?
What
did he say?
Arm strength. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Arm strength definitely matters. DJ will tell you, I was playing with the Washington Redskins. I was playing against the Seahawks, and McLaurin was winning off the line every time because the Seahawks, I'm sorry, but their secondary is trash. Whoever was trying to check McLaurin was just getting burnt. The issue was I was throwing the ball too late. I was starting Alex Smith. I throw the ball late, it would be underthrown. McLaurin would have to slow down and be a contested catch. As soon as I put Haskins in, I can throw the ball late. Didn't matter. He had such an arm, he'd make up for it. And that it definitely matters. But I think it should matter more on. Like, you should be able to notice it more on intermediate routes. I think you should have to, like, that should matter more than it does right now, like slant routes and out routes. Like, if you throw an out route with Drew Brees at this point in his career, like, come on, he's going to feather it out there. It's going to get picked off. But Josh Allen can make a lot of those throws that, some quarterbacks can't afford to throw that ball. And that's the difference, I think. Arm strength versus arm velocity is something I don't think they've differentiated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a question I do have amongst anybody in chat can answer this. How many people literally are able to, when they're playing using the quarterback in Madden, how many are able to actually, once that last drop step is made, they deliver the football? Like they actually get into instead of hanging out in the pocket for a little bit and maybe moving before they deliver the pass. A lot of people, I know when I've played whatever Madden it's been, I've always gotten to the tune that, looking like, okay, I know where I'm going to throw the ball. And then if it's a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, I know where I'm going with the football. Like,
even with the stick skills, or just muscle memory with the controller, that should be like routine, just like how you would routinely do it as a quarterback. That's how it should be.
Well,
because I do that. I do that in football games.
Part of it, I mean, it's ideal, but the issue is, quarterback footwork used to suck a lot worse than it does now. So that was another reason why you couldn't break out of some of them animations while they're dropping back, see a guy open and throw it. On next gen, I'm getting a lot better at that.
Yeah, because I even call it.
Yeah, noticing guys are breaking open, get my feet set, and throw it, right? Because it's a split-second decision, and next gen feels like a realistic pocket time. Like,
you
don't get the ball off, it's over.
I mean, like I said, I even call it in my streams. I look at the defense and look, this safety's coming down. I should get a pass off right here. I'll read the defense on my stream and I'll show people. And 9 times out of 10 it works because you just have to watch what's in front of you.
Okay, Bill's question. So, do you think, now hear me out, do you think that next gen passing is 2K5-ish or APF?
It's a step below both of them, in my opinion.
Man, APF passing is still great, though.
APF passing is the best mechanics for passing outside of Madden 04 that I've ever used. Yeah, and it's because of the fact that what's up?
Because you said how the ball, like, because I do agree, the ball seems a little bit untethered because there's certain throws that I can throw now, which I couldn't normally throw when I was in current gen.
But here's the thing, Chris Thomas. The issue is, as long as you have those 2-man animations, it's never going to touch APF 2K8.
Because the 2-man animations are still tethered to the pass.
Yeah, those were completely separate of each other. Like, if you threw the ball and you place it where it needed to be, that animation for the receiver was going to play out, and the animation for the DB was going to play out, and whoever was positionally in the best spot, that's how the play would result. In Madden, you depend on the animation, and like I said, the animations are playing out nicely, but we shouldn't need those animations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we shouldn't need those. It should be a situation where if I want to throw the ball away, I'm able to throw the ball away because the guy's not open, and that's the only place I can go to. Not, I'm gonna throw it up and hope that it's a deflection animation. That's still an issue for me. Like APF and Madden 04 and 2K5 to me. Well, and then here's the other thing: you got to talk about the passing animations, right? Because APF had all those step into the throw animations, all the back foot animations that Madden still doesn't have in. Right? Yeah. I mean, you had Dan Marino and all the other quarterbacks that they mocap.
Yeah, you actually have their arm throwing mechanics,
but different animations for different depths of field, right? I mean, you had
like if you threw far, you see them like take a couple of steps before they throw it, and if they throw fast, it'd be like a little flick, or they had different ones for that as well.
But see, they have throwing animations. It's just more people. I say it like this: coming from an offline franchise perspective, I like variety in my throwing animations. Right. But when you play online franchise, people only go for one animation. That's the Aaron Rodgers arm throwing animation.
Yeah, because it's the fastest one.
It's the fastest.
Yeah, it's kind of like people what they do in 2K. They go for a Pacific jump shot in 2K basketball.
And that's why I wasn't mad when me and DJ talked about this a little bit. When 2K went and put quick draw behind a badge, I thought about it and I'm like, for online, it actually makes sense. Offline, not so much. Online, now I get why. You can't just automatically have that just because, you want to have that animation. I think that should be something that you have to, unlock or earn. But yeah, the Aaron Rodgers animation, I mean, they have a bunch of different animations, but Madden still has to get out of that two-man animation. For the interceptions and the touchdown. I mean, like I said, they look nice, but they could play out the same way without being tied to each other.
Yeah.
That and also pass interference being tied to a two-man animation.
Boy. I do like when they play out.
I like it as actually being called. Damn, yeah. There was at one point they don't even call it.
Yeah, but the old Madden, you could do that without a two-man animation. So
no, you could. But I've had guys beat, and they're just like, "There's nothing I can do," and just grab the receiver.
Right.
And it's nice to see, right? But you shouldn't need that. It should be kind of physics-based or detection, similar to how to reach out to locate where the receiver is with their right hand. They have those sort of contextual animations in the game. That should make its way into every aspect of the game. The same way that the running back tries to avoid the lineman and things like that. Those things should just be, in the game. I mean, they even talked about how they're adding, this generation specific run animations to the game. Like, why weren't they in to begin with? That was part of the patch notes.
Right.
Or I have a better idea. How about, since you don't trigger that animation by using your SWAT or your aggressive, just put that animation or put the pass interference is just like as you're playing the receiver. Because technically you're supposed to, like, that's what the whole thing is. You're trying to get between the ball and the receiver by just playing the receiver. Use that as your risk reward of being a pass interference.
But here's what gets me is it should already be that way as far as the SWAT, but they don't have a SWAT animation like they used to. Remember when you threw the ball, when they used to have Madden on the PS2 days, and you threw the ball.
They used to jump for and swap.
They used to jump, and when you pressed it, you knew what animation you were getting based on the positioning. It was going to be a legit SWAT, not a two-man animation. So the easy way to do that is if you make any contact with the receiver before he makes contact with the ball, it's pass interference. That's it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I don't like, because when I see myself going for a swap, because I know I got the position to jump up and swap the ball, that's what I'm going for the swap button for. Right. I'm playing situational football. If it's fourth down, I know you're going for it. Why the hell I'm finna go for a pick? I'm finna swap the ball.
But it's crazy the simple things that these soccer games get right, because, all of the fouls, so to speak, when you go to tackle somebody and get the ball off them, all of those make sense how they fall, but more importantly, all of the calls make sense. You'll know when you fouled somebody, right? And none of them are two-man animations. But we still have this thing in basketball games and football games where we need two-man animations to reflect a guy fouling somebody or making contact with a guy. And I think that's an issue. We have to get out of that.
Yeah.
I think another issue is timing when you're trying to catch the ball.
Oh
Because
yeah.
if you was early on the PS2 days, you'll get that little jump animation and you'll miss the ball.
If you're not close to the ball, right?
But
Yep.
but Dave, you can't do that because most people don't want drop balls.
And I've talked about that. And
Well,
I've
that's
talked-
exactly. That
But-
kind of ties into the BS, right?
But here's what's crazy. Shout out to B5. He hasn't been here in a while. Hope everything's good with him. But
Well, he's in California, so I hope everything's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he made a video about passing in 2K. Why aren't there more inaccurate passes in 2K? Because people don't want to actually learn how to pass. You know how
Right.
good it would be to have a guy cut back door and you have to anticipate that window that you're going to throw the ball in. And if you anticipate it wrong, the ball would just go out of bounds. That would be great. But unfortunately, people don't want to learn these games. Just like you said, bro. I mean, shit. I would love to be able to throw a high bullet and it goes through the receiver's hands.
It's
Oh man, that happens. Oh my God, don't let that happen in the tournament game.
But-
Well,
Don't
like you,
do that.
well, like you said, no, real quick. But VF, you talking about that? How about the ball bouncing in a guy's feet? How can you even do that anymore? No.
No.
Throw a pass and have the ball bounce in a guy's feet.
Even
But-
if you like throw it low, like
They
talking about
still won't
football,
do it,
even if you throw it
Yeah.
low.
but
And
see,
then bounce passing is kind of
But here's the thing: it's just like my favorite Paul Moody quote. If everybody knows who Paul Moody is,
Yeah.
everybody want to be a what, but nobody want to be a what.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy that mechanics are suffering as a result of people not being able to play the game. But like Dave Eagle said, and I've said it so many times on this podcast, they're gonna buy the game regardless. They're gonna buy it regardless. They have to. Their content depends on it.
I say it like this.
Well, that just goes back around in a circle. That goes back around in a circle. Is like, with that being said, I know people do what they do with their channels, but is that really a community?
Yeah.
When they have to do that,
It's their community. I've been through. I look at Throne's community. Throne even says he don't care about simulation like that. He care about just playing mud.
And that's the thing.
but you know what though, Chris, I respect that if he leaves it in that area and he grows a community of people who want to play that mode, and they're trying to make it grow on a positive level. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
But here's the thing, we're a Madden community, and the thing is, you see, it's clear as day when you have the things divided. In other words, you have one side that wants to play arcade, then the other side wants to play sim, but it's under the label of Madden.
But you want to know something though? That's not even, to be honest, that's not even really a community fault. That's more of just Madden not make. That's just Madden just making one game trying to please everybody.
But see,
But
that's what everybody. But see, that's what everybody says. Why not we just separate the two?
Because they're lazy. That's why. That's why they're lazy. They're never gonna separate the two.
I understand they're lazy.
And you know what? And you know what? At the end of the day, I think that's what makes this conversation or this discussion kind of unique, because even with 2K and its problems, people go in the park and can have a good time playing in the park. They go to the Jordan Rec Center and play gym basketball, but they still play on a sim level. Or you can go straight to my league and you can play my league and play as sim as possible with that franchise or dynasty mode. 2K has it to where you can do the MLB The Show, even with all its glitches. They can have it to where you can have an authentic baseball experience. Madden, or even with the soccer games, NHL is another one. Madden is the only one that has this issue to where they cannot separate the two in one game. And I think that's one of the main problems.
The other issue to me is the fact that it used to be, if you were buying Madden or 2K, you were buying it for simulation regardless of the game modes that were in there, right? So let's say we wanted to play online, we would be going into that with a sim mindset regardless of what mode we were playing.
Well,
but nowadays,
Looking back on the PS2 days, we had this where in the PS2 days you went in playing with a sim mindset, but when you got on that Madden bus and played tournament style, when you played in a tournament on the Madden bus, you still played in the way the game was built under simulation. They didn't have all this crazy cheese and stuff when you played on the Madden bus.
That's what I'm saying.
They had rules too.
No, but what I'm saying is, regardless of the form, right? The fans of the game played the game according to how the game was designed, right? Nowadays, you have games where the fan base can't even agree on what they want, right? Because Pez and MLB The Show are really the only two that are unapologetically, this is what our game is. We're not about to sit here and ask you questions about how to make our game. Play it for what it is or don't play
it. You're not about to play Slugfest on MLB The Show.
Right, you're not. If you can't hit, tough shit. We have plenty of difficulty settings. They've said that several times now, basically.
Yeah, he's right.
Pez, if you can't shoot, or if you can't handle the player motion engine where you speed up too fast and you have such a head of steam going that if you try to slow down, you're not going to be able to turn, then, our game's not for you, right? But the issue is Madden and NBA 2K are basically content with saying, and shit, even FIFA, they're content with saying, we can please everybody. No, you can't please everybody. And if you had competition, you would realize that you couldn't please everybody, and there would be games out here that would please the people who want to play arcade. But because there's only one game,
I ain't gonna lie, man.
Yeah.
I hope competition coming in that basketball realm, man.
It would be great. It would be great because if Live came out, it was unapologetically sim and said, "Look, you want to play that arcade shit? Go over to 2K." You know how great that would be?
Yeah,
it'd be amazing. If they said, "Look, we have a vision for what simulation is. We're gonna stick to this path. We're gonna stay on this path towards simulation. We're not gonna dumb things down because people say, because a couple people say it's too hard to operate this. We're not gonna take out sim aspects because people think it wouldn't be fun. You know how many times we had that conversation with Clint Oldenburg? Well, why aren't snaps going over people's heads? Well, it wouldn't be fun. I mean, shit. I'm sorry, but
that's football.
Like,
exactly.
You don't find consequences fun in a game where you're literally playing a sport based on consequences.
Oh, then don't let them have dynamic weather then.
But that's what I'm
saying. I'm not even going to get into that.
That's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole that we don't even have to go down.
Madden 10 and even NCAA 14, you literally could slip on the field while you're running. God forbid that happens in the game.
They took out quarterback walk-ups to the line and called it quick to fun or fast to fun or whatever the hell they called it.
More like less to read.
Right.
Because while you're walking up to the line, that's the time you take to read the defense at that point.
And see what they have on the field. And look what they're in. Right?
Or it took so long to hot route somebody. Oh, I can't hot route 80 things at once.
Imagine if every time you were playing 2K, they started at half court, it was like inbound the ball, go ahead, this set.
Right.
That's what it basically is. Let's be honest. That's what it really is. They're starting at half court and they're throwing the ball inbound the ball.
Oh, no. Better yet, they're just coming. You said throwing it in from the half court line, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah. It's like throwing it in or not even. The ball handler.
It's a half court game.
The ball handler starting. He's standing at the half court line. They don't even inbound it. He's standing there with the ball at half court, and a whistle blows, and he just like, all right, let's start the play. Like you're playing in practice mode. It's crazy.
Better yet, have a muff handoff.
Think about it. You know how often you can catch a guy off balance because he came out and pressed the wrong button, picked the wrong play. Now you can't do it because you're up to the line and now you're trying to read his defense and you can't even tell whether he's in the wrong thing or not. You're like, oh fuck, what is he in? Like, I can't. Okay, he's in nickel. But it's like you can't see that walking to the line. So much is determined walking to the line in football. For the people who played football, I know pretty much everybody here has played football. Walk into the line, walk into your position on the field, you learn a lot immediately.
Why do you think? Like I said, why do you think in my streams I talk about what the defense is doing before I hike the ball? It's something that you're used to if you played the sport.
That's
Right. It's called pre-snap reads.
Right.
exactly.
Pretty much.
Those pre-snap reads are dumbed down to basically you got to rush because the play clock's running. And if you're playing on 15 minutes, I know I play on 15 seconds accelerated clock. But for me, it's like when you don't see what they're in walking to the line, so much of that dynamic reading of their defense is just gone. It's just not there. It's just not.
Right.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna go in like next minute because
No, go ahead, because we're at the 2-hour mark and I'm about to start the outro. So I mean, if you're ready to slide, go ahead because we try to keep it around 2 hours and 15. So you're good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hop off. I want to say good talking with you, fellas.
Same.
It's been a while. I hope everybody's enjoying their new video games, enjoying gaming, period, because I know I am. I got Valhalla, I got Odyssey, I got the Assassin's Creed trilogy, so I'm enjoying that. I got Cyberpunk, enjoying that.
What?
And-
What? Wait. Huh?
Oh.
What?
Hey man, you tripping, man? Cyberpunk straight, man.
Yeah,
straight garbage. Boring ass game.
I'm running next gen. I'm old.
I'm playing on PC, man. I'm good money, man. I'm straight.
I'm old.
Chris Thomas, I don't care if you're playing on PS6. That game is boring.
Nah, man, that game's straight, man. You tripping, man.
Yeah, that game is straight boring. It's
To be honest, I haven't touched it in a while, so
It's boring, man.
I haven't touched it because I've been playing other games, but I need to get back on it. I thoroughly enjoy it. I can't lie.
Really?
Yes. I can honestly say I honestly enjoy Cyberpunk. I do.
But all in all, what I'm trying to say is I've been love the podcast. I've been rolling with y'all since day one. Keep on the good work. Keep on making better strides.
Appreciate it.
And like how it is, if like I love everything about this thing.
Hey,
So
man, appreciate it.
Appreciate
Hey.
it. Appreciate it.
real
Definitely
recognize
appreciate it.
real. So
Hey, that's all we can be, man. We trying our best over here, man. We really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm gonna start this new thing right here. It's probably gonna be. I'm gonna do it again on the 26th. But it'd probably be like on a Thursday night, probably like the last hour on Thursday night where we just open up the lines and we'll have a discussion like this. I think it's pretty cool. I like this. And I'm going to call it the BS hour, where it's not necessarily BS because it stands for barbershop. But if you want to call it BS, it could be BS.
Depending on who come in here, it might be some bullshit. Who knows?
Hey, it might be. Don't we do BS all the time around here? So it's all good.
hey,
So look who comes in when we're about to go.
This bullshit. We have one topic.
Yo, look who shows up when we're about to go. Look at this. Look at this.
wow.
Oh, get out of here. And he got the trophy in the back.
Hold up. No. Let me counter this bullshit.
Damn right.
Yeah.
That is so obnoxious. He showed up with the trophy in the background. He just appears and makes a cameo at the end of the
How about
podcast.
Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago, my friends.
Oh, boy.
What's up?
Real G's move in silence. You never knew I was coming.
You right.
hey, OG, quick question.
Oh no, I'm not. Don't try to get me in trouble now.
I'm
Chris.
not.
too smooth for that.
I'm just saying like this. I'm going to school for game design development.
Nice.
Is there any tips after I graduate when I hop into that industry?
There's a lot. Hit me up offline.
Okay.
There's a lot.
All right.
But,
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna slide out of here. But if you got any words you want to add to the podcast, go ahead, OG man. The floor is yours for a few minutes.
No, man, this is good.
You
He just came to be obnoxious. You can tell. He just came to troll.
Oh yeah, I'm doing just what Bills was doing when me and Ryan Hollins is doing our thing every night. Bill comes in there with some slander. DJ been throwing out shade and slander.
What slander?
You know what I'm
I come
saying?
into your podcast,
Hey.
bro. I didn't
You call me an
anybody.
instigator, Bills, and you in there just like, hey, you know, I get the late night. I look at my Twitter. I'm waking up. You know, the kids probably woke me up. It's like 2 a.m. and their Bills is like, yeah, I wouldn't trade Tua either. You know, he's in there.
Look, man.
So, dude, I just wanted to say to DJ, Tom Brady's coming. And oh boy, they're gonna cover that 8-point spread that they got.
Ooh,
I hope you're ready.
Well, we know your quarterback probably ain't showing up for the game if they don't get him right, healthy wise.
Hey, even if he was right, we would still have problems. What the hell are we talking about? This is the most overpaid quarterback in all of football right now.
I'm about to say, is Jared Goff like? Is Sean McVay still? Like literally holding on to the 15 seconds that he has to talk to Jared Goff up to the last millisecond.
You've heard me say this. Is Goff and Cousins probably about the same tier quarterback? Probably a tier 2.
Well,
realistically,
I don't know. Yeah,
Cousins actually made more touchdown passes this year
for sure. But the scheme. Outside of Diggs, right? The scheme gets Goff 8 to 10 completions a game, right? He's going to throw 3 or 4 screen passes to Robert Woods or Kupp, and he's going to get 65, 70. Like the scheme is got him there. You can't have any quarterback have any more than 85 guaranteed million on your cap who's a tier 2 player. You can't.
But OG, this is what I was telling people. It's unfortunate for your franchise because Jared Goff came at a bad time where I really don't think y'all anticipated being the best team in the league that year. And Goff had to kind of get carried along with that team. And by the time he got to the Super Bowl and he had to actually be that guy, I don't think he could.
Well, I think that was the issue. As soon as you have to pay him, right? You're in trouble. I mean, it looks like Rodgers is obviously the exception because he can carry. But Fowler left, Dominican Sue, they couldn't carry him anymore. Luckily, they've drafted pretty well. They gave up the farm shoot. We don't have a pick for the next 25 years after the Ramsey trade. So we're a quarterback away from the Super Bowl.
That's
and he's paid more than Rodgers.
And that's what you're paying that guy. That is crazy.
Every guy will tell you. Me and Ryan were arguing about this, about what a max deal is, right? Just even in hoops, right? Look at all the bad money that Orlando just gave out.
Look at every Harrison Barnes contract ever.
Wow.
Who'd you say?
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. I mean, there's bad deals all over the place, right? In my opinion, couch quarterbacking. But it's like, well, the cap is still the cap, right? Like, there's still a salary cap here. This ain't baseball. Where the Dodgers and Yankees are out here, are spending all the money. So you can only have, like John Wall's contract. One player took up 40% of their cap.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, 40% of their cap. It's the whole thing. Those are two of some of the worst deals that are out there, believe it or not. So I don't know. Just very interesting. And
you have the Rams winning this weekend.
I do. I'm a biased Rams fan because they've outplayed them in both games.
But they're playing the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, they've outplayed Seattle both games.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
They don't need to roll coverage over.
I give them a good chance. I'm not gonna lie. I give them a good chance.
What do you mean? How the Seahawks are fraudulent as hell?
And they don't have a great offensive line. They don't stop the run. Jamal Adams has never been great in coverage. People are like, oh, he's a great dude. You got to put him in the box. He's another linebacker essentially. If you watch how
that is true. That is true.
Pete Carroll has that cover 3 scheme that they run. But other than that, he's not great in pass. You go ahead and attack him. He's phenomenal at whether he's blitzing, covering the flats, making tackles, and coming up in the box. That's who he is. And the Rams, they didn't score on the 1-yard line. Like, they were just all over the place. That was one of Goff's worst games of the year. So I'm completely confident.
A key stat, and I hate, keying on stats, but this is a key stat. When you're 22nd in first downs given up, that means people can move the ball on you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams are very methodical about the short passing game, it seems like nowadays, because it's one read with Jared Goff and boom, get it out. Because, he just still, for some reason, at the line is a deer in the headlights. So when you're playing a team like that and you're 22nd in how many first downs you're giving up in the league, in the entire league, and you're a playoff team, that's bad, bro. That's bad.
Yeah, and again, they can just go one-on-one with, hopefully nothing does happen on this time. But Ramsey just literally, if you've taken a look at the games, he's taken Metcalf completely out of games. He's had 3 or 4 catches, and he has them in zone coverage and drags and everything else. Like, literally, Ramsey is clamping him for whatever lockdown corners are at this point now. Like, he doesn't do anything. So Wilson's not. Is he really the same guy? They've changed up their scheme to be kind of what it used to be, power run game. Now it's a play action as opposed to him throwing it. Could the Rams lose? Sure, but I mean they're not going into the Seattle place where there's noise. Right?
And the Seahawks are best. The Seahawks are best, and I said this years ago on the podcast, when Russell Wilson's throwing the ball 30 to 35 times a game, right? But the issue is if you can't run the ball, and the Rams are a damn good run defense, if you can't run the ball, he's going to have to throw the ball that many times. And they're not effective with that.
And just hopefully situationally they're better, right? So situational football is enormous. So, I mean, the Rams have had kicking problems all year, but I mean, shoot, they're lucky that them losing to an 0-13 Jets team didn't have their ass eaten.
We gave them so much hell for that on here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we did. We did.
So, no, there's that. I like some of you guys' takes are pretty strong. I'm not commenting on the video game ones because you guys are just out here just absolutely going in on everybody and everyone. Other than that, it's not. But I've known y'all way before this started, so I was like, let's just jump in. Let's talk to Ish when it comes to the sports stuff because I know you guys were in here flapping your gums, especially you, DJ, when it comes to thinking you have a chance. And then you double down, just like he did double down with the whole Chase Young debacle. And he was like, yeah, well, of course I want Tom. No, you don't. No, you don't. Rivera did as best he could just to be so PC about that answer he gave the public.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that a couple of people pointed out. Everybody forgets Tom Brady went to Michigan and Chase Young went to Ohio State. It's a natural thing. So again,
he's old enough to be his father. He don't get it.
Matter. Sometimes you talk shit to your dad. It's just the way it works. I'm like, all I know is that if I'm going into a game, I know I can count on VF and Bills. I know I pointed the wrong way because my camera presence is 0 right now. I know they ain't gonna say shit if the player across from us is the GOAT. I'm going to talk my shit.
Yeah, you're going to talk your shit, and you're going to get your team.
Hey, Bill, he going to cost us the game, then point at us like we're the problem.
Before the game even starts. That's we're already defeated at that point.
Like he knew this. Like this is stuff he learned at Ohio State, and it's not like there's nothing. The bulletin board material. He could have went in practice and said, "I want Tom." He could have went in the locker room and said, "I want Tom."
Did he not watch Last Dance?
Yeah. And you see like what Brady's doing on his IG. Like he can't wait. Like him and AB, we're going to be laughing all over the place again. And I don't think that marriage between him and Arians is any good at all. To be honest, I actually think one of them's gone at the end of the year. That could be a bad hot take. But because I think it's got to be one or the other, right? Brady doesn't work with this elongated passing game, and then Arians is, I don't know.
Arians is gone, and they're going to promote Brian Leftwich to head coach.
The main thing with this game this weekend between Washington and Tampa is going to come down to the run game for either team. Mm-hmm. Is Antonio Gibson healthy enough to run the ball like he was doing earlier in the season? Because turf toe is no joke.
Yeah, he didn't practice.
Hey, and you do have check down Charlie of all quarterbacks. No one can throw a check down like Alex Smith.
And Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Bradford.
Don't get Bruce Bradford. Good thing he's not here.
So running the football and controlling the ball is going to be the main thing, at least for Washington. Who's watched this run off?
You know what? If you win, more power to you. Obviously, as a Washington football team fan, I almost
yeah, Bills made that.
No, but it's just like when you double down on the Chase Young stuff, I was like, all right, I'll be on these interwebs here with Ryan, and you guys will be in just blowing up IG and just absolutely flooding stuff. So I'm gonna come in here and
yeah, I'll probably be over there.
Have some take, but no, it's good. So I had to let you know of like, this slander will not be tolerated on the doubling down Chase Young. He's good. He's a rookie. As good as he is, he's talking to the GOAT.
Yeah, that's true.
No fear.
Hey, VF, what in the hell's going on in Atlanta?
Uh-oh.
I think they're gonna get rid of Matt and Julio, at least one of them.
How do you get rid of Matt Ryan though? That contract's huge. It's like Carson Wentz, right in Philly. Like,
yeah, I think that's the only reason why they won't get rid of him. But they're talking like the Arthur Blank already said it's on the table if whoever the new coach if he wants to get rid of him, he pretty much has a green light to do so.
I mean, isn't it like a $30 million cap hit whether you cut him?
Yeah, I think if they cut him, it's like 26 million dead money.
We talked about this last podcast. It's hard enough. It's hard enough to get rid of a quarterback in a climate where every team has a quarterback pretty much that wants one. It's even harder when he has a bad contract.
Yeah,
dude. Especially in the NFL. You look at the Rams are still hurting from Todd Gurley deal,
right?
Because of that dead cap that's sitting.
But that's the talk. They're already talking like if the next coach want to get rid of them, they pretty much got the green light. But Atlanta's just been Atlanta ever since 2018. They just cannot win games. They can't keep a lead, and I think the offense itself. I think it's just time for a new atmosphere or just new players to get in a position to actually win games when they're in position to. I think this Matt Ryan experience it's probably pretty much came to an end in my opinion. But like you said, that contract is the thing that's holding them up.
And your next coach is going to be.
Well, they have the number 4. Yeah, they already have the number 4 pick. They have the number 4 pick. They're actually talking about bringing Justin Fields on because he's from Atlanta.
Oh, Fields doesn't go past 2. You're gonna have to trade up to go get him.
Yeah, they already even talking about that. Talking about that.
Last thing, OG, Deshaun Watson trade rumors. He might ask for a trade. I'm seeing the Bears, Jets, and Patriots are among 12 logical suitors, they say on CBSSports.com. Where do you see as a good landing spot for him if he does request a trade?
Oh, well, it'd be funny if the Bears would make up for what they lost when they traded on. I mean, when they passed on his ass.
Right.
Go, if you're the Bears. Real quick, I was thinking about this. I was thinking of just like all-time just draft mistakes, right? And anytime you think about that, usually you go basketball land, right? You go Sam Bowie, Jordan. Mm-hmm. You go back to Portland probably again, and you say Greg Oden over KD.
Yep.
Like football, you can definitely find some, but the Bears going up and passing on Watson and Mahomes. And I think there's one more.
Watson, Mahomes, and there's one more. I can't.
There's one. I mean, say it again.
Was Josh Allen in that draft?
No,
Josh Allen, I don't believe was in that one.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like that is one of the. I challenge anybody to kind of find a more epic, like a colossal draft of that, right? You traded up and the guy it was a pure potential, right? Potential usually gets you fired. So you go up and you're like, he didn't even have like 500 throws at North Carolina.
He took him number 2.
They traded up. They traded up to get him. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Chicago would make sense, and that would probably instantly make them a contender if they had a quarterback. But
Patriots.
And they probably have a ton of cap room too, don't they?
They do because they're not paying anybody now after all those discounts that Tom Brady gave him for years, and they still didn't get him any targets. They're not paying anybody now. Gilmore, that's it. And this trade room is about Gilmore
too, right? Gilmore's gone at the end of the year, so that's interesting. I did see that he wasn't answering their calls. I saw all that stuff today, so that was very interesting. I don't know. It's pretty sad because that dude had one hell of a year too. That a lot of people probably just with the Texans.
Mike Greenberg said the greatest season nobody will remember.
Oh, really?
That's what he called it.
Wow.
I think it's true.
Wow.
I think it's true. But then again, Barry Sanders probably had a lot of years nobody remembered.
Yeah, about 6 of them, right?
Right.
Real quick for you guys. You guys were talking video games. In sports or everything. You guys watching any NBA hoops right now, or are you not into the NBA mood yet?
I am.
I've been watching a little bit.
I've been bouncing back and forth.
I've been watching a little bit. I've been doing a little more than what I've been used to because I don't watch too much NBA, but I've been watching a little bit this year.
I've been watching none of it.
The empty stadiums and the crowd are really throwing me off.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's not.
The bubble was really well done, and that probably doesn't get enough credit as even the presentation aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, Bill?
I was gonna say they were very upfront about the fact there were no fans there, right? And they kind of built the arena around that. But then now that you're in these major arenas, the people who are running these fake plugged-in noise, it's terrible. It sounds terrible. It's delayed. Half the time, it doesn't make any sense. You know, the away team dunks the ball and they're cheering. I'm like, what the hell? I mean,
I think a lot of the announcers are not at the arenas either. So I think some of their feed is delayed too. So you'll see the dunk, then you hear them, insinuate that or emphasize the dunk or the 3-point shot or whatever it may be, and it's way late.
Here's another one. Oh, good.
Yeah, I got one question. It's been bothering me every time I tune into a game. The fouls, the moment the foul occurs, and then when the whistle blows for that foul, teams are going down the other way, down the court, fast break. All of a sudden, they have to stop because the foul was whistled. And I'm sitting there like, whatever happened to just calling the foul when it happens so nobody's like wasting energy or because what if somebody gets injured on one of these things, like somebody blows the ACL when all of a sudden they didn't have to run because now the foul was called on time.
Shout out to Markel Fultz.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, OG, I have one for you that's really interesting is the fact that Stephen Curry scored 62 points in one of the more impressive 60-point games I've seen.
Yes. And
it was in an empty arena, and it's crazy to think that so many of these moments that we've seen is this Dave Eagle over here snoring?
Yeah, you saw me mouth that. Like, who's breathing like that?
But no.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
I did that.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. So many great moments have happened in the past, the bubble, and then now with Stephen Curry scoring 62, it's just crazy that fans aren't there for these things. I mean, come on, think about it. The Warriors have no hope this season. Clay's injured. To see Steph put the team on the back like he did and not have fans there to be going absolutely crazy is like disheartening as a basketball fan for me.
True. Ryan brought up a good question the other day. You guys might have been, I think, DJ, you were in there. Does Curry have anything left to prove?
Nothing.
Yes, no. He has nothing.
Nothing. The only thing he could prove is if he went to another team, but I don't really want to see that, honestly.
No. Yeah, I'm curious on that. He doesn't need to go to a different team to try to win a championship a la LeBron. So it's one of those things where he's done what he's had to do. I'm serious.
No, I'm joking.
I'm like, I'm about to say. But yeah, I'm like, he's best shooter in the game, period.
But
he's the best shooter of all time.
That's what I'm saying, period.
Here's the thing, and I always wanted to ask you this. So many people give more credit to the system than the player, but for me, Stephen Curry is the reason why this system works the way that it does, right? I mean, who else are you going to find that can distribute just as well as he can pull from 30 and create his own shot, get to the basket, and, find guys? And the system has so many layers to it, but it just seems to me like Stephen Curry is the one that makes it all go. Am I wrong about that?
No, not at all. I would say the only counter to that is you're probably going to give Kerr more credit. People forget, because, the Mark Jackson stuff, and he should have a coaching job. That offense was not good at all when it was there. Watch the Clipper game, his last game he ever coached when they got eliminated. He was high posting Klay Thompson like he was Devin Booker, and he was posting up over and over against Chris. It was the most static 90s offense. They got much better defensively, and that's really where their defensive identity came from. And that's the credit he needs to have. Offensively, that was awful. And Curry, what he's able to do now in this system and flow, this is why he's more valuable than a James Harden, right? Because James Harden is going to do one thing exceptionally or all-time well, but he does it one way. He doesn't play off the ball.
Right.
You know, he doesn't. There's not like stuff that you can really run from him. He's either going to ISO you up top, he's going to pick and roll up top, he's either going to get to the 10, or he's going to a step back. The playoffs, right? We know that doesn't work. That's probably why Chris Paul should have gotten more credit in Houston than he did. But it's also the greatness of Curry. Curry can play with the ball, he can play in the pick and roll, he can play out the pick and roll. You got to chase him. Phenomenal condition. He's gotten slightly better as a defender, yet you still kind of go at him. So, but
and the effort's always been there. To be
effort's been there. Great team guy, unselfish guy, passer. So only unanimous MVP in NBA history. So
that Mark Jackson offense with them side pick and rolls, and you can find Stephen Curry in the same place every single time. He played off ball.
We're easy to jump on a narrative, right? That's what it's you know, he's blackballed and all the, you know, and this stuff and blah blah blah, so he should have it. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have a coach. I'm the first one to stand by, but I'm like, let's please remember what that offense looked like and why they become the number one offense in the damn near, we're going to say like the decade when, you know, it comes over. Obviously KD comes, and that's one of the greatest teams of all time at that point. But yeah, Steph is doing it. But we would debate that all the time with Curry, especially when it comes to Dame, and Dame keeps taking Portland to, say, a Western Conference final or a semifinal, and it's where does, you know, can Curry do that? Does Curry need to do that? And like, man, he won before KD, so they were already doing this. Like, the problem is now they paid him. Now you don't get the Barbosas, you know, the Iguodala's eventually now got to go. Andrew Bogut's the depth. You're not paying for that. So now that team and that dynamic is going to change.
You know, I take that back. There is one thing I want to see Stephen Curry prove. I need to see him play a really great finals.
You think Iguodala should have gotten Finals MVP though?
No, but I don't think Stephen Curry played well in that finals though.
He probably didn't play Steph. Yeah, that's probably true. I have to go back and look at those numbers if they were like super extravagant. But like the whole scheme was to shut him down. He made the right play, and he just, you know, they basically.
But some games, he forced it at times though. He kind of forced some shots at times, kind of trying to get them going because Cleveland's offense was, you know, obviously just LeBron isolating and driving and kicking because they had nothing else, and they were just extremely injury ridden. But at the same time, offensively, it seemed like when Stephen Curry was getting trapped and they were icing them screens on the sideline, he was forcing to play too much and committing turnovers that usually he doesn't really commit. I would love to see him play in the finals and put together a complete Stephen Curry performance like he did against, you know, OKC and, you know, other teams in the playoffs that we've seen. That's the only thing I'd probably say.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he has his name or like a LeBron finals or, you know, anything like that, where you could look at his last two that he lost in Cleveland. You're like, dude, those numbers that he has, that 50-point triple-double he has in game one is, I think, the best performance I've ever seen.
Don't remind me.
So
that was the closest I've ever seen to a guy just pretty much beating a team by himself. And, I mean, he was the man, like, on a mission that game, just getting to the basket at will. Nobody can keep him from the basket. Golden State ran the same defense they usually run on him, which is kind of sagging off and making him take that little mid-range jump shot. He was like, okay, I'm going to get my rhythm first, and then I'll start taking him, and he was drilling him. It was like he was getting whatever he wanted that game, and then JR...
I'm actually surprised LeBron's playing outside of getting the check and all that stuff, right? I thought he wouldn't be ready till April.
That's true.
Why?
Yeah.
You know why? You just got done with the bubble here just a minute ago. Like I would. I mean, I'd be chilling. He's better than me.
That's funny.
You think the new guys?
Rumor.
I thought so too. What were you saying, Bill? Sorry.
The new guys, maybe getting them incorporated and having some chemistry going into later in the season with Schroeder and Harrell, and maybe I don't.
Yeah,
that's the only explanation.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I mean, you look at the league and. I don't know. I still have Brooklyn coming out of the East. I don't think the East is good enough to where the whole chemistry thing, they need time to play. It's like, man, they got two dudes that can throw 60 points up. I still think at least to get in there, and they got two rim protectors. They got shooters. Dinwiddie getting hurt, I think, was not good for moving forward. But I'm like, man, LeBron could get 5 here, potentially 6. He hangs on. AD does his thing. I mean, then the real talks are going to start happening. But he's still buying Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
The Celtics any consideration? Celtics at all?
You know, like
Jason Tatum's shot selection is really bothering me.
Well, I like Boston a lot. Brad Stevens is like one of my favorites in the league. It's just like now that people forget they had to start paying guys. I always go back to the salary cap and value. It sounds kind of nerdy, but you have to look at it like there's 109 million on the cap. And these dudes now are getting upwards of 20 to 30, a Westbrook of 40 million per year. Now they're taking up 40%. And look at what these dudes are costing now. Like some of these guys to fill your roster and the depth and what you need. And I mean, I still think Boston has it. Doc Rivers is probably coach of the year now for what he was doing. And the slander that he was getting from dudes shooting wide open corner threes off the side of the backboard was uncalled for. But I don't know. I think Boston's in there. I didn't even have Toronto making the playoffs, so this isn't surprising to me.
Tatum, man, like that shot selection is so bad sometimes. It's like early Vince Carter-ish to me.
It does kind of. That's actually a really good comparison. It's
probably one of the
better ones I've heard.
Yeah, like what are you doing, dude? You can get to bro. He has crazy handle. You can get to the basket whenever you want to.
And that's not Brad Stevens wasn't known for that either. When he first came in the league, he was the hottest X's and O dude. Continuity everywhere, misdirection, and now it looks like a 90s old. Like, hey, we're gonna still run stuff. But there's like a ton of ISOs, and looks like a PF offense that I watch when he's out here streaming. It's one pass and then everybody's shooting.
Jesus Christ, that's a tough one.
Hey VF, I know in your glasses that you heard me too, fam.
No, what's that?
When did the glasses come? So like I was tuning in.
Oh no! It's all DJ. It was DJ's idea.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm
in there, and then all of a sudden, I moved back to Orlando, and then I'm ghost for a minute. I hear DJ crapping all over me. OG shit, we haven't seen him in for. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm working there. I'm writing in like, just because I'm not competent doesn't mean I'm not. Eyes are everywhere, my friend.
No, man, it's all DJ. It was all DJ's idea.
No, it's good. It's just funny. It's just like, I always thought about just, giving you a hard time about it too. I'm shout out to my man on the East Coast at 9 o'clock rocking glasses in his house.
Hey, man, that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
It stemmed off that one episode where we both were wearing sunglasses, but I tucked my sunglasses in my car. So
hey, how bright these lights are right now! I wouldn't mind having some shades on myself. Save my damn eyes.
Right, I'm about to have a photo shoot. What the hell's going on in there?
No, man, it kind of works out because I got this new light right here, so it is working out. So
the closest OG will appear next to a championship trophy.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, we got 2 of them.
Yeah, but here's my trophy. Even though this was high school, this is my championship.
Man, let's get out of here.
Hey, he wanted to show me with a freaking trophy as a fixed-in background.
I got 3 college ones. If you want to come check them out over here, DJ. I mean, there's quite a bit. There's a case back here.
Whoa. Institutional.
I just had to do it. I had to do it to him, Bills. I had to do it to him, fam. I had to do it. Because that's the 3rd time he's dropped that.
Yeah, he's been trying it. Trying it. But let's go back to the Celtics for a second. No Hayward, right? Hayward was a big influencer, ball movement on that team.
What a terrible
Marcus
contract.
Smart. It's a terrible contract. I'm not.
You can't pay that. You can't pay that man what he got paid.
No, he's gonna play 40 games and it's gonna be bad. Because then when you need him, it's like
is Charlotte the Utah Jazz? Like, does no one want to go to Charlotte to where they have to sign guys at overpaid deals, or you have to pay a Rudy Gobert $200 million because it's Utah and you won't get free agents?
Yeah, I think they've turned into that small market team that's not really in a small market. They're just kind of viewed as the small market because what's the last big free agent? Al Jefferson? That was a trade, right? Or was it a free agent pickup?
Okay, let me break in because VF's bedtime is.
I've been trying to say it. I put it in the chat. I've been waiting on y'all to read it.
That's why I wasn't looking
at
right
the
now.
chat.
I know the bromance is strong down here, so it's.
I got an 18-wheeler to drive in the morning.
Right.
But nah. So you say you're streaming with Hollins tonight?
Yeah, he's doing.
Yeah, because y'all were trying out that
right now. So yeah, we'll be on there. I think it might be late. Y'all might be sleeping. We did it last night at like 12 o'clock.
No, I'll be there.
I'll be Eastern Standard Time. So
where do I find it so I can listen to it when I'm on the road?
It's IG. It's on his IG. Ryan's IG. We've been rocking.
Okay, I got you.
Sometimes it's them or it's me and Brendan Haywood on there, and we just
we
just vibing with the people. It's all love.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, no worries, brother. But yeah, hey, good chatting with y'all, man. Just want to show y'all some love while I was on these internet streets. You guys brought me back to like. Especially when you went in with the forums, because I was in and out putting kids to bed, so I didn't get to hear. It's probably good I didn't hear all the slander. I heard.
It's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea.
Those forums back in the day were very interesting. I always telling somebody to, check them out. So it's always just a totally different vibe. It's another level of excitement. I'm like, So
yeah.
Hey man, y'all be good, man, and. Good chatting with you as always, and I'll be in the streets.
Yeah, man, the door's always open, bro. All right, DJ, what you got before we get out of here?
All right, so last night was a good stream. So I'll be back next week after we. Wow, he put up his instead of mine.
Yeah, I just saw the word Twitch and I just clicked it.
Yeah, you definitely getting sleeping. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch, EVO325. Episode 12 will premiere next week. I'm going to try 10 o'clock because we were talking about polling the community for, input and see what works best. I'm going to try to see if 10 o'clock, and I'm going to probably stick to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to see if that works a little bit more with the Wednesday crowd. But obviously, we're a week out, so topics are to be determined. And also, if you want to catch me on Twitter, it's DJ81. And it was a good night. Got to talk about the community, talk shit about Madden, OG popping up, Day 10 Eagle, long time in the sim community. Thank you for stopping by. Chris Thomas popped in and out. So, we had a good night. So,
all right, what you got, Bills?
I thoroughly enjoyed this podcast, start to finish. It was a great conversation. I think everybody in the community could probably get something out of that conversation that we had about what makes a community. There's nothing else really to say. OG made an appearance. Dave Ten Eagle, shout out to him for popping in. Chris Thomas, always a supporter. Everybody that showed up and communicated through the comment section, great. And we're just gonna keep growing and keep trying to give y'all the best content we possibly can, be real as possible, and that's that, pretty much.
That's what's up. Hey, shout out to OG once again. He did follow me on Twitch, and if you haven't already, go ahead and do so. The podcast, like I put on the banner, is moving to the Twitch channel as of January 26th. We'll be live over there, so definitely come over there if you want to continue listening to us as we talk about these games and sports live. If you want to listen to us on YouTube, the episode will be posted up on YouTube a day later, but you won't be talking to any of us, so you'll be commenting to yourself. I will be streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming NBA Live 19, game 2 of my fantasy draft dynasty. Did pretty good the last game. LeBron had like 35 and 7. Trae Young had 22 and 11. It was something like that. It was a pretty good stream, and the game was actually enjoyable to watch, even though with its wonkiness. So hopefully I will continue to put that on display. And I don't have anything else outside of the usual. You can check us out on the Discord. Go ahead and follow us there, or join us on Discord if you haven't already. Click and check out the Patreon if you like. Shout out to everybody who support us on Patreon. And also, you can click the Teespring link and check out any of the merchandise that we have over there. Outside of that, you should have already click the like button. You should already have shared this video or shared this live stream. Let everybody know what we're doing over here. So when they come over here, they can see that we're going to be moving over to Twitch as well. So other than that, you guys be easy. You guys be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And podcast will be up next Tuesday. Oh, Pooh's in the chat. I didn't
Yeah,
see
he was
him.
typing all caps like usual.
Oh, okay. Talk about Battlefield 4 Bills. Where Bills don't have a PS4. Let's see. Metalface. Yeah, Metalface Doom. I didn't see you here. Appreciate you.
Yeah, he popped up towards the end.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in. Dave Ten Eagle, thank you for being on the panel. Also,
that was
shout out to shout out to Chris Thomas. Thank you for being on the panel as well. And also thank you to Scott OG. We'll see you guys next time. All right, guys. All right, peace.
Peace.
Peace out.